Good morning, it's Tuesday, and we're doing the whole show in a musical form. Just kidding. Sharon made like a grunt sound just then. Welcome today. This is Daily Blast Live. We're in Denver, but we're going national to all of you. So welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook. We got a full house. Jeff is back from his NSYNC interview. It went super well. We're going to show you some great cuts. And we have some strong conversations today. Very, very strong. You're going to see us go at it. And again, Marc Summers is here, and he's been phenomenal. And he's hilarious. So tune in. He's going to be on every trending segment. He's really good. I got to get my thing out of my extensions. Hold on. None of this is real. I'm not even real. I'm a hologram. All right, so we have an awesome fifth host topic for you guys. Would love to get your comments. If you've never written in before, make sure you write in today. Two kind of different but very interesting topics. The first one, home sellers are spying on potential buyers. So USA Today is reporting that more sellers are using home security systems to spy on the buyer. So 70% of people surveyed admitted that they would spy if they could. Would you spy on an upcoming buyer? Have you ever been spied on? Is this an invasion of privacy? I gotta be honest, I am all for this. What do you guys think, Alex? If you had, Sharon, if you were selling your house and you had strangers walking through, you don't think you'd put a camera to hear what the problems are? And also to see if they're stealing things or making whoopee?
Ew.
I definitely would. I think that's still your house until it's sold.
But I mean,
What if they were like, the smell in the house is terrible?
And bathrooms, and you're putting cameras everywhere.
I mean, I want to know what's stopping them from buying the
A real
house.
estate agent wear a GoPro on her head.
Maybe just that she's saying a real estate agent should wear a GoPro on her head. I don't have a problem with this because it's still your house. You want to make sure there's safety. But also, what if they're like, the paint in the kitchen is terrible?
Well, but if you
Then
sell
I
a
could
house,
change that.
yeah,
You know what I
You
mean?
can't change it for one person.
But what if you hear that by 10 people? They're like, I'm not buying it because of the roof.
Realtor will tell you
So,
if it's
well,
consistent.
I would spy. It's not spying if it's your own house. I would just put up a camera. So I want to know from you guys, would you ever spy on a buyer? Would you ever, or do you think it's an invasion of privacy? When I walk through a house, I definitely could believe that there's cameras on there. So you guys are writing in, hello DBL Nation, congrats Jeff, he did such a good job. Congratulations to NSYNC, and if they feel like that's, why not, oh, you guys are writing. I'm so sorry, that was it. I had an old neighbor that would listen through a baby monitor to hear what they were saying about her house, but they never used it against them. I can hear you. Brandy Sprong, I've heard that too, that people put up baby monitors for that. So any listening devices are legal in Maryland. This is from Tanika Owens. Tanika, if you are doing it in your own house, is it illegal? Because I know if it's still your home, I wonder if that's illegal. Private residence doesn't just mean privately owned, right? Juanita Steele. So John Venturini says, I would love to get someone slime today. As you know, we have the Emperor of the Sunday slide on the week. We need to make it happen. John, I'm working on it, okay? Slime doesn't just come. You have to create slime. The Double Dare slime it's a 4-day process. There's fermentation. You have to find unicorn tears. It's very difficult. The second topic, very interesting, close to my heart, guys, is DC's public schools. Guess how many, I'm going to ask this to Sharon, guess how many, the percentage of people graduating from high school seniors, is it above half or underneath half?
Underneath that.
46% of DC kids in public schools will not be graduating from high school. That's an enormous amount. 46% of students are on track to graduate. That means a majority of people are not. Now, I am from hardcore Washington, DC, not from Maryland, not from Virginia, and here's what's really happening. DC public schools are not the best. They are somewhat dangerous, and I will say this as well. The teachers are great, but we don't have a senator or a representative in Washington, D.C. to help support our school system. And what I mean by that is this. We are a capital, not a state. We're taxed just like a state, but we don't have something called representation, meaning we have something called a delegate. Eleanor Holmes Norton can just speak in the Senate. She doesn't actually get a vote. So remember the whole American Patrick Adams, signage, taxation without representation is illegal? Well, that's on the DC license plate because we are being taxed without having representation. So without a senator or a representative to back you up on schools, we have a lack of help in that matter, and we have a lack of a voice in that matter. Eleanor Holmes Norton has done a phenomenal job as a delegate, but there's only so much you can do by speaking and not voting. She does not get a vote. So DC, we're taxed just as much as Delaware, but we do not have a senator or a representative. So we want to know what you think. How do you get kids to stay in school? Were you a school skipper, and what would have kept you in school? And would it help if schools had more funding? I think this is a direct result of DC not having someone being able to stand up for their kids. And I have a bumper sticker on my car, taxation without representation. It's hard to be in a city, not a state, and not have someone sort of backing you up. And Bill Clinton even allowed that phrase to go on the license plate of DC. It started when he was in presidency because he couldn't believe we had taxation without representation. Stacey Sorber, I lived in Alexandria, Virginia. I can believe that. So if you're from Maryland or Virginia, you get better school systems, and you also have a senator too, and representatives because you're taxed just like any citizen should. So I'm just very adamant about this topic because I live there, my parents still live there, and it's a tough thing to be taxed that heavily and have no one represent you. John Venturini, taxation without representation, guys. That goes with Patrick Adams from the 1700s. So Tammy Gibson, wow, that's a lot of students. Why aren't they graduating? A lot of them, Tammy, are dropping out. 21% are moderately off track. They're failing at least one class. 11% are significantly off track, means there's no way of graduating. DC public schools were caught in a graduation crisis where 34% of diplomas handed out were to unqualified students. I would call this a strong epidemic in the city capitol. And when you have the White House there, you want to represent the city capitol. So this is not a good look for Washington. What can't DC change? Why can't DC change that? B.H. Brady won every single year. Great question. We put a bill out and say, can we please try and get a senator? Can we please try and get a representative? And every single year, it dies in either the House or the Senate. So DC is a predominantly Democratic district. Is a district of Columbia, and right now the Republicans are in the House and Senate, and there's sort of not an interest in having another place be a blue state, if you will. So right now it's not going to go anywhere because they don't want to add another blue state. We're about, I think, in the 90s for being Democratic. So that's where we are politically, but every year someone submits a bill, and every year, it's like a joke in DC. We just never get anywhere. And I just remember the Clintons being shocked that we have this situation, but no one's ever done anything. So we're still fighting the good fight, B.H. Brady. We appreciate that. Karen G., extracurricular activities could help the kids stay in school. Such a good point. And better engagement from teachers too, meaning smaller classroom sizes. All of these require more funding. Kids are worth it. Love what you said there. And again, what do you think of when you think of a pork barreling? Do you guys know that term, pork barreling? That's when I'm a senator from South Dakota, and I work the system because my school system isn't doing well, and I get stuff added in amendments to bills to give funding to my school. Well, we don't have any senator to do that. We don't have anybody to do that. So there's seemingly no one looking out for us, if that makes sense. So it's frustrating. Second topic we're talking about is home sellers spying on potential buyers. Chris, if you were selling your home, would you put a camera out if the people were walking through?
In like an open house
Yeah.
situation? No, I don't think I would.
What's wrong with you people?
I don't think I
Don't you
would.
want to know if the window bay isn't cute?
But like,
No?
Expensive.
Yeah,
Expensive.
it's
You get an old
expensive.
iPhone, get
You
an
gotta listen to
Amazon, a camera.
and if I were walking through an open house
And
and
saw
I
it?
saw cameras,
I would
think
be
I'd-
like, great, this person has a great security
oh,
system.
I feel like I'd feel the
Right, and then
opposite.
You'd leave and
I,
take
I
them
feel like
all.
I'd be freaked out.
Would you do it, Leo?
No.
I'd
You-
be freaked
way.
out.
Would you put a camera up?
I feel like that's just kind of weird.
What's wrong with me? Is this? Please write in, DVM Nation. I am all alone. So the show's about to start. We got a good show. Jeff's piece, I think, is going to be playing today. He did a phenomenal job, and really good shows. Great heart threads. One of the ones that made me cry in the voiceover booth. I loved it. Sam broke her toe, so she's wearing slippers, but looks phenomenal. And I look like a lawyer from the 70s who's fighting for her rights. If you can see, I'm wearing plaid. So enjoy the show today. Let me know if anyone here would put a camera in, because I feel like y'all aren't being super honest. I would want to know if they didn't like the spacing of the house or whatever. I think it's important. Many of you apparently don't care. So make sure you guys keep commenting throughout the show. Someone is in the control booth writing your comments to the prompter, so they're going to be in there. So keep writing even after we've started, all right? We'll talk soon, ladies and gentlemen. Take care. Roseanne and Kanye West double down on their support of Donald Trump, but isn't everyone entitled to their own opinion? Ashley Judd is getting the last word, why she's taking Harvey Weinstein to court. BBL goes to Hollywood for NSYNC's Walk of Fame star ceremony, and our own Jeff Schroeder catches up with the guys. Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We hope you're all having a great Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know we are. Yeah. And guess what, everyone? We have a very special guest co-host all week long. Marc Summers is here.
Hello. How are you?
There he is. You may remember him as the host of the hit show Double Dare that aired for years on Nickelodeon, and it is coming back. We just found out, so that's exciting. Yes, it is. And we also, Marc, we're so happy that we have you for what, another 4 days?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see. We might actually hang on to you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
We might not let you leave.
We want to do some physical challenges.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
That's true. All right, we do have a lot of really great topics to get into, so let's get right to it. Everyone is talking about Dancing with the Stars. The opening night of this all-athlete special edition won the night in ratings, beating out NBC's The Voice. That's big. And all eyes were on Olympian Tonya Harding. There she is, the notorious figure skating icon. In fact, even Allison Janney, who won an Oscar playing Tonya's mother, was there to support her in the crowd. Take a look at Tonya's Foxtrot. All right, and social media reaction is definitely mixed. Oh, Erica's got a sourpuss face on. One person says, I will never watch Dancing with the Stars. Why? 2 words, Tonya Harding. While another says, really pissy at all the hate Tonya Harding is getting. God forbid someone try to be a better person or grow over the course of 2 decades. All right, so Erica Cobb, you are the queen of comeback. That's your brand. So is Tonya Harding not deserving of a comeback?
I think everyone's deserving of a comeback. That doesn't mean that it has to be in our faces or in the same realm in terms of being in the public domain. Sometimes you forfeited some rights to have access to certain things. I would question Carrie, who said that people are holding on to the past. If Ray Rice was in that position, would she feel the same way? So I think that there is some hypocrisy here, and I don't really appreciate the fact that she's on this show.
And also, why does she get a comeback when she still hasn't admitted that she had anything to do with it? She never admitted why the FBI found crumpled up schedules of when Nancy Kerrigan's skate times were. She never explained any of that. So until she she comes clean, why does she get to do this? This is pure hypocrisy in people's faces.
So if she came clean, would you forgive her? Because what if she really believes that she's innocent because that she knew nothing about this?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with them, but for the sake of conversation, I'll disagree that it's a reality show. I don't like anyone taking
Dancing with
anybody's dream.
Stars.
Right. It's a reality show.
That's a
In
good
the end,
point.
it's a reality show. You need villains on a reality show to make it work. People tune in to specifically hate Tonya Harding. And that person who wrote and said 2 words, Tonya Harding, I'm not tuning in, guess what? That person's definitely watching.
Is that fair to someone like a Nancy Kerrigan where her dream was taken away?
No,
so to
it's not
speak,
fair.
By
Life's
Tonya
not fair.
Harding? But why does Tonya Harding get to have this second act where she goes to the Oscars, where people are applauding her, people are showing up to see her on Dancing with the Stars?
A lot of people are saying she was never accused of actually physically doing anything, and she's never been convicted. However, O.J. Simpson was never convicted either, and every time he comes up in a light that's other than criminal or criminal looking, I have an issue with for the sake of the survivors, of the families of the people who were slain.
You know, and I will say this, I know we have to move on. Jeff, you changed my mind on this, man. They are casting a show. They're casting a show.
That's
and people
how
do
easy it is to change your mind.
I don't want to. Do you think I want to admit that on TV? Jeff changed my mind. They are casting a show no matter how much we find her to
if I brought up that point, it would not have changed her mind.
I'm back out. I missed you yesterday, buddy.
Thank
I missed you.
All right, welcome back. Jeff's
And the
right.
viewers say no way, 47%. All right, serious news. We're talking about a third woman because we are live and we just found out that a third woman has come forward accusing Tom Brokaw of making an unwanted sexual advance in 1968.
Wow.
No word yet from Brokaw about this new allegation. Meantime, we're learning more about a letter signed by more than 115 women. Remember, we talked about this yesterday in support of the veteran news anchor. Page 6 reports that female staffers at NBC say they felt huge pressure to sign. One woman said, quote, the letter was being handed around the office and the unspoken threat was that if your name was not on it, there would be some repercussion down the road. That's alarming.
Yes. And I think that was really the whole point of, in the beginning, when we were talking about the magnitude of the names who initiated this. A lot of people were saying, what happens if our name isn't on the list? Are we already implied that we're not of support? I think at the end of the day, these are women that are giving their accounts of the truth. It's fine for you to have a different variety of what the truth is in your experience, but why are you talking about it now? That's not what we're talking about. So it's like, again, I'll bring it to Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. We're not talking about all lives right now. We're talking about Black lives.
point.
So we're talking about the people who are claiming that they have been assaulted by Tom Brokaw, not the people who think that he's a good guy.
That is a great point, Erica. I do want to read a little bit of this woman's account. So she says, I clearly recall, so she said that they met at her cottage in Laurel Canyon. That's a area in Los Angeles on a weekend afternoon. Quote, I clearly recall his driving a motor scooter and sitting next to me on my mother's sofa in the living room. We talked, and then abruptly he was embracing me and gave me a French kiss. I pulled away, reminding him that he was married. He said yes, it would be unfair to Meredith. So that was the unwarranted advance. I don't think that we can, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can't lump this together. This seems like a past that went wrong.
And me too. And I always ask, where is the line? Where is the line of, I felt uncomfortable to sexual harassment? Where is that line? If someone feels uncomfortable, it's sexual harassment, right? To me, it was a past gone wrong. He's not a smooth guy. He tried to hit on her 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You have to take that into context.
I think something
that
else more important happened in 1968 as well.
I had a kiss her all the
Oh my God! Wow, you scared me.
after the Apollo 11 lunar landing, and I have to go. Okay, thanks.
Mark, Jesus.
We're on live TV.
That was good.
That was our very own Marc Summers. Almost gave you a heart attack.
Oh my God.
That was a good
Did I look
impression.
scared?
The thing is, I saw him coming. I was like, what is he coming to do?
That
And it
was
was
a
just a
good
Tom Brokaw
impression.
impression.
Oh my God.
Oh my
But I
God.
think it's important to note that, listen, we don't want to discount what this woman is saying. We're just saying that it seems like a past that's happened to me many times on dates. However, I don't like that Tom Brokaw is discrediting the other women, saying that I never forcibly kiss him. This does give some credibility to those other
All
women.
right, she's saying that he did. He's saying that he didn't. I mean, I think what most people are latching
It
onto
seems
is
like
that
he has a history of forcibly kissing people.
It seems like
he's
he
just
kissed
not a
3 women,
smooth-
and that's what we have so far.
Right.
Over the course, what is he, 75?
How many women does it have to take for you to believe a woman?
I'm not no, that's
I don't mean
unfair.
that. No.
Okay.
You're right. That's not a question. That's a broad question. That's not
I'm just saying,
specific to you.
over the course of an entire lifetime, I guarantee you, let's just say those are his 3 embarrassing mistakes. Who in this room, who watching the show, has not done something super embarrassing 5, 10, 15, 25, 30 years ago? This is 1968. Somebody went in for a kiss and it didn't work. Go home right now. Ask your grandparents how your granddad met her. Oh, he showed up at the bus stop every day for 30 days till I said
agree.
yes. That's stalking now. Oh, I love the part in the rom-com when he pulls her back and says, kiss me, you crazy girl. And then she did. That's assault now. So, like, you guys want it both ways. We sit up here and talk about 50 Shades of Grey and he tied me up and all this shit and I couldn't do anything. And I'm like, well, look, it's one or the
Al,
other.
Hold on.
It's one or the other.
BDSM is consensual. Okay, BDSM is consensual, number 1. Number 2, I don't have...
That's me. You're being responsible.
Number 2, I don't have an issue with what you're saying. It's the fact that if he did make a pass that went wrong on the other women and he's calling them liars now, that's not fair to their
I would
for
say
their
most
credibility.
passes go wrong. They
Well,
do.
here's the real issue: is the fact that he made a pass when he was married, and therefore.
But we don't know
it
that. We
seems-
don't know their marriage. And Erica, you always say you don't know the concept of their marriage.
No, but what I'm saying is, it seems like a lot of the denial is coming from maybe a vein of not wanting to admit that he wasn't faithful to his wife. Because at the end of the day, if he's asking for a kiss, he was really asking for more, and we all know that because we're not 12.
But maybe
So,
he doesn't want to embarrass his wife because of their situation.
Totally
they might have an
understandable,
open marriage.
but don't call her a liar. Don't call
Okay,
her
we're
a
going to
liar.
leave it on that note. We are live. Digital producer Kelly Schuberth with news at the moment.
Yeah, some exciting entertainment news just in. Actress, producer, and designer Reese Witherspoon now has another job to add to her resume: author. She just announced she's releasing a new lifestyle book. Listen to what she's calling it.
It's called dun, 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 Whiskey in a Teacup. It's all about Southern living and my Southern heritage and how that sort of informs pretty much everything I do, from what I eat to how I decorate to how I celebrate family traditions.
Reese named the book after her grandma, who always said Southern women may be delicate, but they're also strong and fiery, making them whiskey in a teacup. The book hit shelves September 18th, and this Southern belle will definitely be buying it.
Yeah, Kelly.
I like that, whiskey in a teacup.
Me too.
That's nice.
All right, during the commercial break, we'll be discussing Ashley Judd and her new lawsuit against Harvey Weinstein. Don't miss that. And Emily Steele, what's coming up on DBL?
Well, if you want to know how to score affordable concert tickets, we got you. We've got 3 pro tips to getting the best deal for your dollar. Plus, our own Jeff Schroeder in Hollywood for NSYNC's big day. We're taking you to LA for the boy band Bonanza. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. We share next your comments live on air about a story that's getting a lot of buzz online.
I want to just give a big shout out, John Venturini, spot on impression, Mark.
Oh, cool.
Very, very good. I thought it was also very good. It's almost like, you know, there's marbles in the mouth.
There's there.
Yeah.
The key one, and it's Dana Carvey's line, Apollo Wonderland.
Somebody else in that one is the best one to do.
Too bad, yeah.
A round of applause. I think we need to have maybe a segment on impressions
maybe.
with Marc Summers.
I could do that. That would be fun.
Come on over. We're going to talk Ashley Judd.
You can go in on that you're like, oh, definitely.
So guys, we're talking
It happens.
Ashley. We're talking Ashley Judd. Rena wants us to discuss.
We're talking Tom Brokaw.
Oh, so you want to talk more Tom Brokaw?
No, you dominate the conversation.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I want to swallow work right now.
Mouth. So we wanted to.
By the way, I did this joke last week and nobody laughed. Now Tori stole it, and Mark's doing it. Everyone loves it. By the way, I stole it from Jimmy Fallon.
I stole it from Dana Carvey. So
Everyone stole it from somewhere else. Ashley Judd is suing Harvey Weinstein for defamation. I looked up the 5 points of defamation, and basically they say you're either lying, you didn't look into the rumor, and you've also damaged that person's reputation. What do you guys think about the lawsuit?
I think she has every right, considering that I can't imagine the money that she missed out on when it comes to Lord of the Rings and that whole trilogy.
The franchise,
the franchise,
empire.
literally prints money.
And who knows what part would have followed that?
But there's no guarantee she would have got that part.
She'd get the opportunity.
Thank you.
Now she also has, Peter Jackson is signing on to be a witness to say that he was told a smear campaign about Ashley Judd,
Right.
and she can absolutely use him as proof.
That's interesting.
How do you feel about that?
Again, you're still not guaranteed that part.
But it's the
But if you were
opportunity.
smeared not to get it, that's the definition.
That's
Right.
the same thing with Nancy Kerrigan. People said you ruined her chance of getting a gold medal. She got a silver. Well, it ruined her opportunity to get that gold medal.
Yeah, well,
That's a great
she was
point,
clearly
Sam.
better. No, she was clearly the front runner to win.
plural,
You're right.
plural.
She had to follow through and win the gold. That's a good point. But then that's dismissing whoever got that job. Like you're saying, I wouldn't have got that job.
Yes.
Seconds. Here we go.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Home buyers, beware. They may be watching. I'm talking about the seller. USA Today reports sellers are using home security cameras to spy on people touring their property. Then they use what they hear as leverage in the price negotiations. Sound too creepy to be true? Think again. 70% of people surveyed said they would spy on potential buyers because of the competitive housing market. This got you talking, and Sam Shocker has your comments.
Wow, DBL Nation is on fire about this one. Let's get straight to your comments. Doris writes in on Facebook, yes, I would. People steal, kids run wild. You never know what goes on. Let's get Brandy in too. Brandy says, I had an old neighbor that would listen through a baby monitor to hear what they were saying about her house, but never used it against them.
And what are you listening for?
Right.
Because they might be, if every one of your guests is coming in and going, hey, this closet space is too small, or this kitchen needs to be remodeled, you might be like, maybe we need to put another 40 grand in this kitchen to sell it.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
they're
what
gonna
if it's on the
use it-
flip
no.
side?
Yeah. Erica, no, they're using it
Yes.
for negotiation.
They're saying, I'm going to give
Exactly.
I'm going to pay the full amount, but let's not tell them.
I didn't think
Right,
about that.
exactly.
Clearly Luckily, I've only
my
been in
husband-
apartments.
My husband and I have been going to like open houses and looking at places for about 6 months, and I've definitely seen cameras.
Really?
For very good reason, because I mean, there's not generally the realtor isn't even physically with us.
Well, that
when
I
we're walking
understand,
through.
but I don't like the negotiations
But yeah, the
part.
because when you're having these conversations, and we've been very careful about the conversations that we have, because you don't know if the realtor can hear either. Like if you're fully prepared to make an offer right then and there, if you're questioning if there are other offers and you're trying to play games, like it's a very competitive thing happening right now. So I can understand that.
Wow,
So now-
I'm glad I learned this because I would blow it.
Now you got to pretend like you're on Goodfellas when you're looking at houses.
Yeah.
No
Or you can use it against them and overshoot it. So
Then the tricker becomes a tricky.
Yes.
I like that.
Mama 13 to 35 on YouTube says, I'm a real estate agent and I assume I am always being watched. Well, there you go.
I think every adult should assume that they're always being watched at any time. When do you think in this building that you're not on camera? When you go to the bank, wherever you go, when you're on the corner, there's street. You can see pictures of the street right there. You're always being watched. So shouldn't you
you're
always
right.
assume that?
It's sad to think that way, but you're right. I would never think
neither.
that going into a house.
Nope. Now we will.
They would have got me. Now I'm going to get them.
Me too. Can't wait. I'm excited
Me
about
too.
it.
I'm
All
going
right.
this weekend.
Calling the music lovers. Tori Shulman has a new trending story coming in hot.
That's right. A lot of awesome performers are touring this summer. Rolling Stone magazine has insider info on how you can score cheap seats. Now, first up, buy the tickets the day they go on sale or the day of the show. Prices are always cheapest at the start of the sale or the day of the show because promoters typically overestimate the amount they're going to sell. Next up, check your credit cards. Companies like MasterCard and American Express and Chase offer pre-sales, discounted tickets for cardholders, and sometimes even free concerts. Finally, buy tickets at the venue's box office to avoid hefty online service charges. So DBL Nation, I want to know, who do you want to see on tour this summer?
Thank you, Tori. That was really good information.
Yeah.
I usually just go on there last minute. Not cool. I'm spending an arm and a leg.
Yes, you are.
You know, it's not cool saying spending an arm and a leg.
Thanks, Al. Ebony, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Well, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big day is right around the corner, and we've got the details on Harry's pre-wedding weight loss plan. But first, Al Jackson's hilarious take on trending viral videos. Need a laugh? We got you. Al Sounds Off is next.
Welcome to the breaks. I'm your host, Tori Shulman, with the one, the only Angelica Lombardi. She's a digital producer, and she's about to hit us up with, I think, a bachelorette story?
Yeah, so this story is trending on bustle.com. We are getting the first promo on Becca, the new bachelorette of ABC series.
She's the one that was so dissed by
She was
Ari.
heartbroken. Yes, as you know, she was proposed to by Ari. She said yes, and then he dumped her and changed his mind and went to the runner-up. So this promo is all about how she is so over Ari and ready to find new love.
I don't know. Does anyone else think this was a little bit staged? Now they
Not
have
at all.
they have a whole
Maybe a little
storyline ready to go. She's the hurt, sympathetic one that now you want to go to.
I'm Team Becca.
If you're not Team Becca, you have a heart made out of a ghost. But I really do feel this might have been planned. We'll see. Are you excited to watch it?
I'm so excited. Brooke and I will be doing a recap for digital.
That's called a plug, ladies and gentlemen. That's a plug. Moving on to, we're going to Leo right now.
This
Digital
story is-
producer, there you go.
Yeah, the story is trending on TMZ.com. The yodeling boy, Mason Ramsden is his name. He just broke 2 million streams on Spotify. So that means over 2 million people have listened to over 30 seconds of this kid's original
Even the
song.
camera guy's shaking his head.
I mean, he's got original
for this
music
guy.
now, though. I mean, this is a huge career shift. for
You're
this
right,
kid.
and you played it for us, and both Jeff and I both were like, "This is some jams."
Yeah,
we
it's
liked
really,
it.
really jamming. I mean, he's been at Coachella. He's been at
Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's where he started. Stagecoach. He was actually put on tour by Walmart.
Wow.
So he is famous now.
What is his name?
Mason Ramsey.
Okay, we all know him as Yodel Boy, so that's interesting. I just want him to like maybe change this. The bow tie could be a nice change of pace, maybe.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. All right, so blue, red. Let's vote. Cheers. Yodelay here.
Tuesday, everybody, it's time now for Al Sounds Off, when comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he could find.
All right, that's what's up, man. How you feeling? Welcome back.
Feeling good. We're crushing it in the navy blue today, man.
All right, well done, Hannah.
All right, here we go, Al. What do you do if you love hockey, Al, but you don't know how to skate? All right, well, here's what you do, Al. Our friends at 12 News in Phoenix, Arizona have the answer. It's underwater hockey.
What?
People think we're kidding when we tell them. I keep a picture in my wallet of the sport just to be able to show people. No, really, it's a thing. There are about 25 countries around the world that play underwater hockey. We're the only team in the state. We're state champions.
I love underwater hockey.
It's just such a fun sport.
State champs.
Yeah, there's only one team. What do? Play with each other? You know,
state champs.
This has the same rules as hockey. No fighting with your sticks.
State champs. Let's get out of here. All right. Over the years, the magic of Disney has brought us so much, Al. Mickey Mouse, Disney World, and now a soft hand robot. Check this out.
That's right, Jeff. I need a robot with a soft hand. It's like going to after prom with the Terminator. At least we know that thing is lotion proof.
All right.
Excuse me. This is the technology at its best. I really like this. I'm going to use this in the future, this weekend. Let's go to the next one.
All right. The perfect baby doll is cute, cuddly, and is absolutely not creepy. Well, this doll is 2 out of 3. Enjoy. I would throw that thing out of my house.
Jeff, it's weird, but you know what? The baby just doesn't cry. It also tells your kid to come to the dark side. This is good if you're tired of your kid not sleeping in the bed until it's 16. And I'll just tell you this. It's, it's a little scary for parents, but if you want to threaten them, be like, don't make me get the baby doll again.
There it is.
Be right.
You better behave. You better behave. All right, everybody. That's comedian Al Jackson. That's Al Sounds Off. We are live. Digital producer Brett Forrest with news at the moment.
Women's sports leagues are coming together to create the She Is initiative. The movement's aim is for women's sports to help each other increase resources, viewership, and attendance. One member said, quote, women have to support women before you ask other people to support you. Leagues already on board include the WNBA, U.S. Tennis Association, Canadian Women's Hockey, and U.S. Women's Hockey. The name aims to show the world, quote, she is anything she wants to be.
That's incredible.
I love that. You have to support each other before you can expect anyone else to support
Erica, how many WNBA
That
games you been to?
I've been to a couple WNBA games. My little sister loved Lisa Lobo, was a huge fan.
She played in 98.
Well, that's when I went.
All right, well, they need your support.
Shame on you.
What? No, I'm saying you support with your wallet and your eyeball.
Yeah,
How many people in this room watch the WNBA?
I also haven't given any money to the NBA. I've taken money from the NBA, so there's
You've
that
never
part.
been to a game as a fan?
With you, when you bought the tickets.
You bought the popcorn.
All right. Do you believe in talking to the dead? Do you? Well, LaToya Jackson does, and she says Michael's got a thing or two to say. Wow. And next in Heart Threads, you meet a former pro football player who hung up his cleats to help wounded veterans heal.
Promotional consideration is
I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm just saying women don't support the NBA because no one does.
I'm saying the realm, you're talking about something specific. We're talking about people in any community, which is like just a key. In any community, you should be supporting each other before you can expect anyone to support you from outside of the community. That's just one.
I was on the phone with Michael Jordan and his people, and they were going to come, but I said, but Al doesn't like people who are old, former basketball players.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Anyway, that's my attitude.
What does that have to do with former basketball players? I'm saying women don't support the WNBA because it has terrible ratings and it's subsidized by the NBA. You guys don't want
I'm
it.
saying
not about us. And I'm missing the dummy.
When Cleveland had a team, I used to go
But
see
you're
Rockers all the time.
missing the point. That wasn't even the
What
point.
is it anyway?
It wasn't the point of the
Jenny,
story. The
can we
point
put
of the
that in the
story
proper
is that they
Yes,
have
she's fixing
women
it.
from
Awesome.
all of these
Thank you.
different sports
Thanks,
coming
Tammy. I know
together
she is.
to
I just
support each
can't
other
pronounce
within a
it.
network before they're asking anyone from the outside to support them from within. That was the point, not about women necessarily. It's about women who are athletes. It's women in sports.
I think a lot of women were athletes.
I'm not a woman
Are you
in
talking about
sports.
professional athletes?
Exactly, that's what it is.
Didn't you
All
do
of us
professional
no
fitness
professional.
competition?
No, I've never been
That wasn't
professional. No.
Oh, you look professional.
Thank you. I was not a professional.
I was a professional.
Today's Heart Threads is all about making the best of life with the cards you're dealt. Formerly deemed Mr. Irrelevant, David turned his life of football into a lifetime of helping others. Watch this, guys.
This NFL player gave up football to help wounded warriors. David Vobora was the last pick in the 2008 NFL Draft. Players picked last are deemed Mr. Irrelevant because they seldom start their rookie year.
My goal was to change the statistics on Mr. Irrelevant.
He became just the second Mr. Irrelevant to start in 15 years, but a shoulder injury in 2011 took David off the field. While rehabbing to make a comeback, he met veteran Travis Mills, who had lost all 4 limbs in Afghanistan. David was inspired to invite Travis to the gym and train him.
And that was the spark. I knew I had something that I could utilize for his benefit.
That decision would lead David to retire from the NFL to help people with disabilities and wounded veterans in his own gym.
What I'm doing today, I feel, is more significant than anything that I ever achieved in football. But football was the right recipe to create a platform to do this, and Mr. Irrelevant is a part of that story.
You never know what your greatest gift or passion is going to be.
Yeah, it's strange, but I always thought that Mr. Irrelevant was such a weird thing anyway. It's like you get drafted in the NFL and you still get made fun of. But he started, that was amazing, and then he's doing something even more amazing than playing sports.
I think they do that to give you a drive, and they drove him, and now look what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Unbelievable. And if you are leaving us, you can still watch us live on Facebook. Here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live.
Michael Jackson is pretty chatty these days. His sister LaToya says she's talked to him. Ever hear of a happiness class? In our DBL Spotlight, we're showing you the free online course anyone can take to be more happy. And can bad sex doom a relationship? You may be surprised. More Daily Blast Live when we come back. All right, guys, people are asking about, does Brooks like my hair extensions? And the answer is a resounding yes. I will say that only because he said he would never like anything fake. Well, it worked out for
And
me.
then didn't you do something? He goes, oh, first he goes, I don't know, and then you like flipped your hair.
I did this move. That worked out for me. Anyway,
Yeah, I was
so
just
thank
like,
you,
Jeff
Diane
looked
Sawyer.
at me
Thank
and
you,
I was
Tammy
like,
Gibson,
Jeff-
for writing in. That
Jeff's
was
eyes
really,
were
really
like,
sweet of
don't
you
go.
guys.
I wasn't taking
What do you
this.
think about
Oh, cool.
LaToya Jackson
Nobody
being,
can take his spot.
I'm outta here.
with
I'm gonna go take
Tyler
a nap.
Henry? He's a medium, if you guys don't know. Apparently, he channeled Michael Jackson while speaking to LaToya. We're about to talk about it. Erica, Sam, thoughts on mediums?
I believe in that. I was a huge fan. I'm still a fan of Tyler Henry, but when I interviewed him, I was pregnant at the time, and I thought he would have picked up on that. But maybe he wasn't in tune to me because it was specifically an interview.
It is interesting that he didn't pick up on that, though.
Or maybe he didn't want to tell me.
I've seen him tell people on the show.
Wait, what's that?
Tyler Henry, we're about to show LaToya Jackson was interviewed by a medium.
Right.
And he's
I'm a large. What about you?
Yeah!
I'm here all week.
Tory
Try
joke.
to
It's a
deal.
Tory joke. We are very getting very
That's the competition.
I know. So we want to know what you think about LaToya channeling Michael Jackson. What do you think about mediums?
I believe in them. I believe that certain people are just in tune to different wavelengths, and I think that we all have some type of like intuitive power. It's just like whether we can tap into it.
I
or
agree.
not.
I kind
I've
of do,
definitely
too.
gone to places or gone to people who I felt like were
guys, 30 seconds. Do you like the movie Ghost then? Thank you.
Molly, I mean, you in trouble, girl.
You in trouble.
But
You in
we'll
danger,
be-
girl.
You in danger, girl. I'll be back.
Here we go, guys.
I thought it was trouble too. Oh, that's funny. 15 seconds.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. A big DBL welcome to our guest co-host, Marc Summers, everybody.
What's up, Mark?
Yeah.
This is a fun week for me. I'm having fun playing TV here.
Well, we're so lucky to have you here. And of course, DBL Nation, you know him from Double Dare on Nickelodeon and Unwrapped on the Food Network. And Nickelodeon, they picked back up.
Yeah, they picked Double Dare back up. I heard that rumor.
Yeah. You better be hosting. That's all I can say. And you're going to keep us tuned onto more details, right?
I will, I promise. As soon as I know what
More
I can
deets?
say, I can tell you.
Okay. All right.
Whatever that
We'll
means.
get it out
All
of
right,
him.
Sam, you want him to read his contract right now?
Maybe. Okay. All right, moving on. There is new fallout today after Michelle Wolf's controversial White House Correspondents' Dinner roast. Right now, news outlet The Hill says it will not participate in any of the future dinners because of Wolf's jokes. But other comedians are coming to her defense, including Seth Meyers, who delivered the dinner's roast back in 2011. Here's what he said last night.
When you call her filthy, you are right. She is filthy, and she is mean, which is what we love about her. Because those are wonderful qualities for comedians and terrible qualities for free world leaders.
And today, Wolf stands by her speech. She tells NPR, quote, "I wouldn't change a single word. I'm glad I stuck to my guns." Both of you, I mean, you are a stand-up comedian. You started out in stand-up.
Yep.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are pushing back against her, saying that she crossed the line.
They're pushing, but the cross the line.
Yeah,
That's interesting with this administration. I just think it's so interesting that we're starting to go after comics. What I told you guys months ago, this is how it starts. She starts talking about, I don't like his content. I don't like what she's saying. I don't like the way that makes me feel. You're allowed to be offended. And your right to be offended doesn't affect my right to listen to it. If you don't want to hear Michelle Wolf do comedy, guess what? She's not going to knock on your door and start telling jokes. If you don't want to hear what Michelle Wolf has to say, then that's fine. But when you start canceling dinners, when you start silencing entertainers, people in their free speech, this is her free speech, and now people are saying she shouldn't have the right to say it. What does that sound like? Sounds like fascism.
That's a great point, but is it because she's a female comic? Would Joan Rivers have gotten this much pushback if Joan Rivers just came about today?
You know, look, I was never a gigantic fan of Joan Rivers. Okay.
Why was that?
Because I thought she was mean, and personally, in my opinion, I didn't think she was very funny. But that's it. Everybody here at this table has an opinion as to what they think is funny.
And Don Rickles,
And
though?
Don Rickles, you know, towards the end, he should have gotten off stage. He kept going too long, but in his heyday, yes, he was funny. But I don't think that kind of comedian would work in this environment today.
Absolutely not.
And because of what's going on with the Trump administration, and I'm not taking sides either way, but this man is against the press, and this is a step to shut the Correspondents' Dinner down. It's probably checking off a box over there right now. And if you don't want to watch a TV show, turn it off. You don't want to listen to her, don't. But you know, I'm just telling you.
If there was such a heightened sensitivity to being roasted, I mean, then he also wouldn't have shown up for Comedy Central. Right. And at the end of the day, this was traditionally the president's supposed to be there. He chose not to be. I think that there is a concerted effort to get rid of this because of the current, not just administration, but because of the climate of our country. We don't want to laugh. We want to be offended all the time. We don't want to laugh. And the case in point is, and I had this conversation with a girlfriend who I said, I would never invite you to certain comedy shows, ever, because you'd be the worst person to take. But I would invite so-and-so to that comedy show. It's like just a matter of like whose taste.
Different flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's to be respected.
DBL Nation, chime in. We want to hear what you have to say. Moving on to LaToya Jackson. Yep, she's in the news because she's reaching out to her late brother, King of Pop, Michael Jackson, from beyond the grave. She appears on Hollywood Medium tomorrow night with Tyler Henry. Take a look.
Everybody wants to know really what truly happened. That was my brother's hat.
Wow. There's a lot there.
Is there?
I don't even know where to start.
I do.
Okay, LaToya says that Michael is worried about his daughter Paris and wants to make sure that all of his kids are okay. That's really what?
I mean, that's like, don't you think this is wrong? To like take advantage of somebody that's in mourning. Like,
what if he's giving
that's what a generic statement you can make. Like, your people that passed on want to make sure you live a good life. I don't assume that my dad is in heaven right now thinking like he hopes I trip and fall on the way to my car.
You don't believe that your dad's in heaven watching over you?
I don't know. I don't know, Sam. I don't have superpowers, and neither does this guy.
Well, how are you so sure? I do think that people are attuned to different things that we don't necessarily see, and I think it's kind of arrogant to think that there's nothing beyond what we see and feel. I really believe that we're all vibrations, and at the end of the day, I've gone to mediums, I've gone to other people who I've spoken to. They've told me things that, like, I mean, I went to someone who did my whole DBL contract. Like, when we talked about...
You should go to a lawyer.
No, she told me exactly when I would be. She told me all about the first contract of Daily Blast Live. So, like, honestly, when the call was made, I was very confident that this was going to happen because she had just told me that.
Random person, and if she hadn't predicted it, you would have never thought it about again. You would have just been like,
no. She also talked about my husband's industry. She said things that were very specific.
Then why isn't this woman more successful? Why isn't she diagnosing everything?
She is successful.
Is she paying rent here in Denver?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
She owns her own
then she should have franchised by now. She's that brilliant.
Okay. What do you think
What's
about
happening
this?
next
Wait
week?
a minute. I'm channeling Michael right now. They sold Neverland, and they didn't check with me first before. I think it's all ridiculous. I don't buy
how do we know that he's not channeling
I'm gonna tell you,
Michael?
I started my whole career as a magician, okay? And for
You
years,
did?
yes, I was a professional magician, put myself through college. That's where I started my life. And there are people who claim to be able to do this who've built billions of dollars out of people who buy into this crap, and I don't buy into
Miss
it at all.
Cleo.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people did she rip
I'm
off?
simply saying, if someone gives you
Miss Cleo.
information that you
That's
feel
right.
like is in tune with where your life
People
is
thought
and
Miss
who
Cleo
you
was
are,
in tune.
well, I'm just saying that there are people who absolutely are in
Wasn't
tune.
Dionne Warwick
and they
involved with
aren't
that whole
scam
situation?
artists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dionne Warwick's from Cleveland, and they made her shame herself. That's why I have issues. This is wrong.
You know, people.
Erica, she does not have superpowers. He does not.
It's
No
not
one has
superpowers.
superpowers.
It's not
Communicating with the dead isn't a superpower.
So what happens when I'm in a really tricky situation multiple times? It's happened to me.
Yes, here's what you do. You put on your big girl pants, you go make an adult decision.
No,
you don't go see a maniac in an office with a crystal ball sitting there.
How do you explain when I'm overwhelmed by my late grandmother, who Sophie's named after, her hairspray that you can only get in Germany?
Really?
How do you explain that?
I'm saying that I think that the olfactory senses are hooked up to something in the brain.
You can only get it in Germany? Well, how do I get it for my hair? Because my hair's a mess here. Where am I? Okay, I mean...
I think that smell is associated with memory. When you start thinking about your grandmother, you probably smell
where
that.
it's so overwhelming I can barely breathe?
I don't know what your definition of overwhelming is, Sam.
All right, I believe it.
It's this conversation.
I'm with you,
As long as you
Erica.
believe it.
I do. Now it's time for some
Childish and
news
wrong.
from across the pond. It's the Royal Watch with Tori Shulman.
Wow. Hear ye, a royal decree this morning. Kensington Palace has released the birth certificate for our new Prince Louis. Here it is, and check out the occupations listed for mom and dad. Prince and Princess of the United Kingdom. Yeah, no duh, guys. And today is May Day, the 1st of May, and that means it's 18 days until the royal wedding. We gotta get a better bugle. All right, so in honor of the big day, England has done the most British thing possible. It's released a new royal coin of the new royal couple. I think it looks like Ted Danson is finally marrying Shelley Long. Sam and Diane forever, guys. Cheers. And we're also learning that Meghan Markle has been a positive influence on Prince Harry's diet. He's apparently slimming down for the big day. This is Harry before Meghan, the Burger King, the Duke of Dessert, the Earl of Sandwich, and here he is now. He can buck my ham palace any day. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you.
Do you care about the royal stuff at all?
I know Al doesn't. I really don't care. I actually think it's antiquated, and I think it's uncool that they already got their kid's birth certificate, and I'm still waiting on Sophie's. Yeah.
What are your
it's
thoughts?
Not fair.
I really don't get it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's weird.
Next.
As Tori would say, mazel.
Tori makes it interesting. Tori makes it interesting. All right, we got to talk about sex, guys. Specifically bad sex. A new survey of 2,000 adults find that bad sex can actually cause a breakup. So before we jump in, what's your take, DBL Nation? Vote now. Have you ever ended a relationship because it wasn't working out in the sack?
I don't know. I think that, you assume just like quick, bad sex, it's over. But I think if it's bad sex, but they cover a lot of other bases, I think a lot of people stick around. If you're like, hey, the sex isn't great, but he's a good dad, he's good around the house, he brings home the bacon. Do you want to do that, or you want to go fishing out there on Tinder again, see what's cracking?
I really think that bad sex is kind of an indication that there's a lack of connection.
So bad sex to you is lack of connection?
Yes, because it's like, first of all, you don't want to have like a manual or like be instructive about what you need.
Why not? You do it with everything else in your life?
Well, not like over the top, like by numbers.
Yeah.
We're not in a Friends episode, okay?
Well, some people need that. Some people that weren't taught about their bodies, and they need to learn how to explore themselves.
I understand that, and they can
Didn't
do
we
that
just talk about sex
with
parties?
someone else.
Oh, see, now that's wrong, because Sam yelled at me in the dressing room when you said a woman's sex toy party was empowering, and I said no, it's not. And you changed my mind on it. You were like, it's empowering. So why isn't like taking a course to be better in bed empowering?
I'm just saying that if I have to explain certain things in an intimate setting, you are not the person for me.
Maybe you can do it after.
No, I can't. I really can't. I think it's a lack of connection.
So you don't think
That's
once
my
you're having a
opinion.
bad... Okay.
No such thing as bad sex.
There we go.
Yes, there is.
No, and from a man's point of view, also.
Exactly. Let me tell you, there is horrendous
Really?
sex.
Yep. Amen, honey. Uh-huh.
The exec producer over there standing praying that I don't say my next line, okay?
46% say, what's bad sex? Oh, let me tell you. Okay, we'll tell you during the break. Let me know what's coming up next.
Hey, I can't wait till the break. I know he's a guest, but Mark, there is a such thing as bad sex, okay? Who's not having bad sex is Dale Earnhardt and his wife. We'll tell you about that. But during the commercial break, we'll talk about Kanye West and Roseanne and their support of Donald Trump. Coming up on Daily Blast Live, like I said, a big shout out to NSYNC. Daily Blast Live is taking you to LA for their Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. And later, we're shining the DBL spotlight on a happiness class, the free course you can take to brighten up your outlook.
Oh, believe me, I know if I did it. Okay, good.
So we're talking to Marc Summers about what bad sex is. Is that what we're doing? Is that what we said we talk about on the break? Bad sex?
Why don't we
The definition of bad sex is you thought you did something and you so did
Every
not.
time we talk about it, we should be
The end.
Have you ever experienced bad sex?
No.
I can't believe I just asked Marc Summers
No.
that question.
I never did.
So is that a man thing?
I just think intimacy is there's levels of intimacy, but I've never had bad sex. I'm just telling you. Now, maybe from a women's point of view, and I got 3 women here, you can tell me,
Well, men are more visual, physical, and women are more in the brain, and I think it takes a little more effort. We're talking about bad sex over here. We're trying to...
Chemistry.
And he was saying as a male, he hasn't experienced it, but as a female, I think we're more in the brain than men are, right? And so it takes a little more effort than a thing. I should stop.
See, a lot of men think that it's a physicality thing. It's not a physicality thing. In fact, stop thinking about like what you're physically doing sometimes. Sometimes you're thinking so much about the mechanisms, the mechanics of the situation. You're thinking too hard.
Are we talking about jet engines?
No, you're thinking, you're overthinking it. Like, if you did what came more emotionally natural,
See, that's
and
a more
not what you
female
studied
vibration, I
on
think.
film,
then
it would make a lot more sense to all of us.
If this man was doing something that you didn't like, would you tell him how to fix it?
Yes, women don't really
but if it were
climax
bad
from what you
enough,
see on
I
porn.
would think
Right.
that it was a lot.
That's not how it works.
We need a background, we need some romance, we need thoughtfulness, we need a connection. Or we need to have, there's a lot we need. It's not just,
There's
I think I should
finessing.
stop.
There's
There's finessing, and sometimes it can be hard
about
finessing or soft finessing. But
Wait, are we back to... Do I have time to pee now?
I'm so embarrassed.
Sorry.
All right, it's time now for Chatting with the Stars. They sold nearly 30 million records in the U.S. and won numerous awards. Yesterday, the band NSYNC was honored with their own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, along with thousands of fans and celebrity speakers. I was in Los Angeles to take part in the festivities. Check it out. The boys of NSYNC are about to come out right now. They're about to receive the 2,636 star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The crowd's pumped up, but right now the ceremony's about to begin. How long have you guys been standing out here?
We got in line at 8:30.
8:30 this morning?
Last night. PM.
This is one of the most enthusiastic crowds we've ever had.
They were interviewed by yours truly wearing a much too small tiny Santa hat and black fingernails. I got to be a part of history as America met and fell in love with NSYNC for the very first time on U.S. television.
Of course, the band is made up of the cute one, the bad boy, the sensitive one, the sexy one, and Joey.
And we thought actually Ellen was actually in the group because half the time we called Lance Ellen. We thought he was. I
had a secret. I was gay. I thought if I come out, NSYNC would be over. So out of fear, I kept my secret. But so many nights on stage, I'd see young gay fans singing their hearts out, and I wanted so badly to let you know I was you. And so let me say loud and proud to all my LGBT brothers and sisters who embrace me and show me the way to be who I am. Thank you so much.
I don't really think I can put into words how much the four of you mean to me. You know, I just love all of you so much. I love you! So, don't touch me. Our moms and dads have been really, y'all the real MVP. My beautiful wife who's here today, I love you so much.
They're not really doing interviews, they said personally, but I'm going to see what I could do. Lance, come on, buddy. You got to come talk to Daily Blast Live. Man,
This is like the button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us, especially having everyone here, you guys. It's been an incredible day.
It's been special, man. You're the best, Lance. Congrats. All right, guys, that's it. It's official. NSYNC star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's been a crazy day here. So happy to be here. April 30th is officially NSYNC Day, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Good job!
That was, I mean, I gotta tell you, that was one of my favorite days in this business. I'm not kidding. It was so special, like just to see that and like where they came from. Lance, oh my God, Lance, thank you so much for giving that interview. They didn't do interviews with anybody.
But
and
you.
Lance came over and he's like, I see you. So he came over and like Access Hollywood was there.
I saw.
And
They
extra,
couldn't get
and I was
in.
like, beat it. And I was like, Lance, get over there. It was crazy down there. It's crazy.
Just so football days came back.
Yeah. You had to like box them out, man. It was amazing. I had an amazing time. Congratulations to the boys of NSYNC and
Well
Lance.
done. Well
Great
done.
job.
Congrats to you. And Lance's speech was
amazing.
On point. What a powerful speech, Lance. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Well, right now, Disney is bringing the Magic Kingdom to your kitchen. The company just announced its new digital channel called Disney Eats. Featuring Disney-themed foods, upcoming shows include Kitchen Little, which pairs celebrity chefs with kids ready to learn to cook, and Must Be Science, where food and science collide. Some of the videos are already up, and we'll share that link on our social pages.
Fun. Very cute. Coming up next, we are shining the DBL spotlight on an online course all about being happy, why it might just be what we all need.
High five, buddy.
Yeah.
That was so good.
It was fun. It was really
amazing.
cool.
How many people would you say was there? Was it like you couldn't move? Was it like a mosh pit?
You mean in the press?
Yeah,
or,
with all the crowd, the fans.
So there was like a barricade. So when I was interviewing those people, they got there at 8 in the morning. The day before. So if you think of Hollywood Boulevard, like you know what it like.
Yeah.
It's just a regular street, you know, with a sidewalk.
go for it,
But it was
baby.
all the way packed.
So they
and
closed it
So it was
down.
like a whole block like that. was
So they
packed with
closed down
people.
that part
They
of
closed
it.
it down.
Holy mackerel.
It was a whole-
And Lance saw you and called you out. That was amazing.
So I saw Lance before, you know what I mean? I knew he was, I texted him and told him I was coming and things like that. So I saw him before at the hotel, and then I'm like, I'll see you there, you know, it's a special day. And then I was right down in front, and they're like, they're not doing interviews. And then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna see if I can get Lance. And then Lance saw me, and he went like this.
He gave you the signal.
He was coming over to me, and then Entertainment Tonight was like getting in there. I was like, dude, get out of here.
It was so funny, we're
and
like,
then Access
beat it.
Hollywood. So he's trying to get over to me, and I just like, Lance. And my question was, I'm like, over 20 years, you guys have won awards, TRL. I'm like, what does this day mean to you?
Especially
like
when
compared to all the other stuff.
Especially when Lance and Sam, I know I saw you clapping on that when he announced the whole thing about being gay, and then he brought that up.
thought that was
Lance
so
has
great.
had such an amazing journey. He really brought being gay to a very pop culture, large, broad base.
He's a big part of that.
Oh,
He's a huge part, and he stayed in pop culture as a gay icon, sort of someone you could look up to. How do you think it meant for him today to have that star after all that? You know, how hard is it to come out as gay in a boy band?
Well, he says during the speech, I have the whole thing, I recorded his whole speech on my phone, but he says he was scared to come out because of his band members, his brothers. He didn't want to ruin
It's a
their
responsibility
careers.
of all
So
of
he
them.
said that in his speech.
Their
He's
fans are young, mostly young females.
Right, and he goes-
But then again, there's a lot of young gay fans.
Right, but at the time, he
Of
was
course.
making.
They weren't acknowledged, to be honest.
You're right. And he says it in his speech, and it was really, his speech was really moving. I don't know why I felt like I got like emotional.
You did. Well,
Yeah.
you've known, how long have you known Lance for?
9 years now.
Wow. Where did you guys meet?
Right after Big Brother.
He's a Big Brother fan. That's
Yeah,
how you guys
yeah, that's
know
how
each
we
other.
met.
He loves you and Jordan together.
Right.
You guys have known him for a long
Yeah,
time.
he's always
And you know his
welcoming.
husband as well?
Yes, yeah. Saw Michael there. I talked with him before, and right before we were about to get leave for the airport, I was talking with Michael. So we're
Great
good
job,
friends.
buddy. It was a really great interview. If you guys have any more questions, let us know. Jeff nailed it.
Today, we're shining the DBL spotlight on what makes us happy. The answer may be in Yale professor Lori Santos' class. Her course, Psychology and the Good Life. It has become affectionately known around the campus as the happiness class and is the most popular in Yale's history. But the really happy news? Now you can enroll for free online. Joining us now for our very own DBL Happiness Crash Course is Professor Lori Santos. And happiness is a big concept. So what is a small change we can make immediately to be happier?
Really what the research suggests is that simply by engaging in your own kind of easy practices, some of those practices are just things like savoring, trying to stay in the present moment, trying to reduce your mind wandering. Another easy happiness practice is gratitude. Try to practice appreciating the things that you have, and even doing simple random acts of kindness for other people.
But you say part of the issue is our misconceptions about happiness, and I've heard the term that you get in your own way. How do we get in our own way?
Really, it's our minds that get in our own way. Our minds tell us that to be happy, we need to do certain things, like we need to change something about our lives. But really, what to seek out to be happy is just to do simple things like seek out other people, trying to have time for yourself, a concept that researchers refer to as time affluence.
And what are a few tools that the DBL viewers and myself can use to create their own happiness? Let's talk about in the long term.
The research suggests that very happy people tend to spend a lot of time with others, and that suggests that if we want to be happiest, we should just prioritize the people we care about, spending time with our loved ones.
So when you hear about a happiness course, a lot of students seem to think that this is an easy course to take, but you in fact say it's one of the hardest courses. Why is that?
Yeah, we created this hashtag, hardest class at Yale. And the reason is that becoming happier is hard in the sense that what we really need to do is that we have to fight our bad habits. We need to put into place better practices.
Now, for the first time, people don't have to go to Yale to take your course. They can do it online. So for more information, go to Coursera.org. That's Coursera.org. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We are live, and someone who is always happy is Tori, and she has a new story that's coming in hot.
That's right. Paul Rudd is back as Ant-Man, and this time he needs backup to take on a new villain. Here is your first look at the new trailer for Ant-Man and Wasp.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Hi. Like a partner.
Ant-Man and the Wasp teaming up.
Follow my lead. She seems more intense.
Ooh, Ant-Man and the Wasp buzz into theaters July 6th.
Yeah, can't wait. And as we go to break, check out some of the exciting things we've got planned coming up in May.
The biggest events in May are on Daily Blast Live.
Surprise!
Complete coverage of the royal wedding.
Royal Watch 2018.
NSYNC's Hollywood Walk of Fame dedication.
I'm so excited.
Al Jackson speaks at the TM Landry graduation.
I'll be there.
And so much more.
We're just kicking the mud off the tires.
Don't miss a day in May on Daily Blast Live.
Promotional consideration.
All right, before we go, Jeff, we want to remind you of something you said exactly 6 months ago today. Watch.
Cardi's boyfriend Offset proposed to her on stage in front of nearly 20,000 people at a Philadelphia stadium during a concert, and he didn't disappoint with this 8-carat ring. If they're still together after 6 months, I will buy them a wedding present sent from Jeff Schroeder. I'll send it. If not, I want a nice present from you, Kyle.
Jeff, where's the wedding gift, huh? You man of your word?
Do you know me as a man of my word?
Yes, I do. So I bet you have one.
Man, I do have one. Here we go. We got them a toaster. Not we, Jeff did. Yeah. Now, Cardi being Offset, I just need an address to send this bad boy to you guys because I'm a man of my word. And happy wedding.
Do you use a
happy
toaster?
wedding?
Wait, do you use a toaster or toaster oven at home?
I use a toaster. I put my bagels in there.
Oh, okay.
Bagels are delicious.
Most people use toaster ovens nowadays.
Oh, sorry.
The stories never stop. We don't either. Good job, Jeff. Keep your word. Oh, my God.
Sure, sure. All right, am I on?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm on? Oh, what's up? Huh? Yeah.
There you go.
So, welcome to the Jeff Schroeder Show. It's canceled already. No, so LA was great. I flew out Sunday night, got into LA late, and then Monday morning We had to be there right away for it started like 10. Actually, it didn't go on like 12. Anyways, it was amazing. I was right in front. I mean, like where the camera is, that's like where NSYNC was. Actually, you're a little closer, but it was right there. So I got to see everybody. I got to see Lance before the event.
I just want to shout out Lance's husband's pocket
This isn't
square.
it.
Oh, what is
But I
it?
wore it in the piece I did.
That's
So I
awesome.
saw Michael, and right when I saw Michael at the hotel, I'm like, Michael, what's up? And he goes, oh my God, I forgot mine. I go, you forgot your own pocket?
So he has a pocket square business
Right.
called, you can go
MichaelTurchin.com.
Turchin, Turchin.
I think so.
All right, Lance's husband. I really like the pocket squares.
Yeah,
they're my
they're
favorite.
amazing.
Hannah Moon, the wardrobe, is definitely very into it.
Right. So it was amazing. They will talk about it.
All right. So today on Daily Blast Live, Tanya Harding makes her Dancing with the Stars debut. Will the figure skating icon be enough to make you watch? Roseanne and Kanye West double down on their support of Donald Trump, but isn't everyone entitled to their own opinion? BBL goes to Hollywood for NSYNC's Walk of Fame star ceremony, and our own Jeff Schroeder catches up with the guys. Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We hope you're having a great Tuesday so far. We're having a great Tuesday because we have our very special guest co-host all week long, Marc Summers.
Thank you. I'm having a great time here, too.
So happy to have you. You guys all remember him as the host of the hit show Double Dare. There he is.
There I am.
That aired for years on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's also coming back.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yep. Very enthusiastic you are.
I am very excited.
What years did you like screaming from the rooftop?
You're keeping some stuff under the hat, though, Mark,
I don't
right?
know.
We never know.
You don't know.
Or do we have to take a physical challenge to find out?
Well, that could happen later in the week.
We'll take it. You heard that? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Let's get right to our stories because everyone is talking about Dancing with the Stars. The opening night of this special all-athlete edition won the night in the ratings, beating out NBC's The Voice, which is huge. And all eyes were on Olympian Tanya Harding, the notorious figure skating icon. There she is. In fact, even Allison Janney, who won an Oscar playing Tanya's mother, was there to support her. Take a look at Tanya's Foxtrot. All right, and social media reaction was mixed, of course. One person says, I will never watch Dancing with the Stars. Why? 2 words, Tanya Harding. While another says, really pissy at all the hate Tanya Harding is getting. God forbid someone try to be a better person or grow over the course of 2 decades. How do you think Tanya did? Do you think she should be able to be on a show like Dancing with the Stars?
I think the more important question is, why is this show still on television? Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's.
I
thank you
love
so
Dancing
much.
with the Stars.
Do you really?
I really do.
Here's the problem. When you tune on and you don't know who the stars and who the dancers are, that's a big problem. When the show first started, it was brilliant and everybody was watching. But I think it's lost its relevancy, in my opinion. And the ratings are down 40%.
But it still beat The Voice last night.
No, actually, it's been redone, and NBC won, and they did not. That was the first overnights, and now NBC won the night.
Oh,
so
they recalculated?
They recalculated.
Okay.
So Tanya Harding or whoever, I mean, Johnny Damon, it's an all sports kind of deal. Do you know who Johnny Damon is?
I do not know.
Do you know who Johnny Damon is?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
we know because we're baseball guys. We're guys. He played for the Boston Red Sox, played for the New York Yankees, okay, and on and on. I don't get it, you know, that they're trying to theme this thing out. And
See, I thought the thing would be a good idea because a lot of times on Dancing with the Stars, people say it's not fair because Chrissy Yamaguchi or somebody like that was an athlete or a former dancer was in it. Right, they have an advantage. But a lot of these people, only one I really knew was Josh Norman, the guy that plays football for the Redskins.
Nope.
Yeah, and all of the other people are kind of like, if you follow the Olympics and you follow a particular sport, you would know them. But I think this one is only 4 episodes.
But what do you think about Tanya Harding being part of it?
Here's the thing. I don't approve of it, but again, this is a reality show. This is is a dancing reality show.
Doesn't make it okay.
It doesn't make it okay, but guess what? People rather watch somebody that they like. They rather hate somebody. They rather hate.
That's true.
And that's what brings the viewers hating. And guess what? The viewers are the people who vote. So if you don't like her on the show, vote her off.
Yeah.
There it is.
Also, the economics of reality shows, it's so much less expensive to do than a sitcom or an hour drama. So that
Makes
keeps it on
sense.
as
And our
well.
viewers say 52%. Yes, she can dance. Well, of course she can. She's talented.
She did. She got a 23 out of 30. She did
That's
pretty good with her
for
partner,
a first
Sasha.
dance.
Yep.
And we are live, and we're just learning that a third woman has come forward accusing Tom Brokaw of making an unwanted sexual advance back in 1968. No word yet from Brokaw about this new allegation. Meantime, we're learning more about a letter signed by more than 115 women supporting the veteran news anchor. Page 6 reports that female staffers at NBC say they felt huge pressure to sign it. One woman said, quote, the letter was being handed around the office, and the unspoken threat was that if your name was not on it, there would be some repercussion down the road. Now that is dangerous.
Well, I want to take the other side with that because 115 women did sign it.
But if they felt like they were going to lose
That's
their
one
job,
person's perspective. That one person ruined 115 signatures.
They shouldn't
you
be
can't look
feel
at it like that. Yeah, but you can't look at the whole thing like that. Not everybody felt pressured. This is one person's feelings. If you don't feel like signing it, don't sign it. It takes away the whole thing of signing a petition.
Yeah, but if your job is your livelihood, for most people it is, if you also have mouths to feed at home, you're going to succumb to that pressure.
Would you sign?
Yes,
I
would succumb to that pressure.
I would not. If someone's like, this guy sexually harassed me, will you sign this in support of it? I would say absolutely not.
If I felt like I was going to lose my job and I had no savings and I have a mouth to feed, I probably would.
It's not that easy to find another job. I worked for a company before, and the company wanted us company-wide to sign that we, for 1 year, would take a 3% pay cut. If you don't want to take it, it's no big deal, but we're doing it to save the company. Of course I didn't want to sign it, but I did it just under the pressure of, oh gosh, what would happen? Are they going to get rid of me? Are they going to get rid of us? And everybody felt the pressure, even though this is a little different. But when your job is on the line, sometimes
you're talking about a financial obligation and a moral obligation.
She's talking about a financial obligation.
No, I'm not. You're talking about a moral obligation if someone was sexually harassed.
Why are you blaming them when you should be blaming the company who's pressuring
I'm not blaming.
them?
I'm just taking apart what we're just given.
Some of the big names were signed
You're
at
dissecting
first.
it.
Were signed first, and so they may have felt like they had to follow suit then too.
Right.
How about that? It was 50 years ago. We could talk about that.
That's a good point. Okay, so I'm being told to wrap. Okay, so we'll leave the other part to the break. There's more to the story. We're going to talk about it during the Facebook break. No, it's okay. Stars are responding to criticism for the support of President Trump. First, Kanye West just posted a video to his website defending this hat and explaining why he supports the president. Watch this.
When I wear that hat, it's like a fight for equality. Like, oh, I can wear this hat too. Half Trump does, I don't agree with. What half do you agree with? Just the ability to do what no one said you could do, to do the impossible, is the most inspiring thing to me.
Meantime, Roseanne has her own philosophy on how to deal with haters. Here's what she told Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show.
Oh, yeah, people are mad about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't give a Everybody had to choose for themselves, according to their own conscience, who they thought was the lesser of two evils. You know, everybody chose that, so I'm not going to put anybody down who didn't vote like me. This is America. It's a free country.
Mark, there you go. Roseanne and Kanye are getting a lot of criticism for supporting President Trump. Do you think that's fair?
No. I'm just sick of everybody hating everybody on the other side. If you don't like Trump, that's fine, but they're allowed to have their opinion, as I'm allowed to have my opinion, and this has gotten way out of hand. I'm not going to go see this singer anymore because she voted for Trump. Stop it. Just stop it, you know? And the whole thing, I also hate the thing about just sing and shut up or just dance and shut up. Entertainers, people in the entertainment industry vote and have feelings and kids and pay taxes, so they're allowed to have opinions as somebody else. Now, I don't agree, you know, all these award shows have gotten out of hand given their points of view. I think that should stop as well. But we all need to settle down and calm the you-know-what down.
And have a conversation.
And have a conversation. Roseanne can think about whatever she wants. Kanye can do, and anybody in this panel can do that. You can't hate somebody for that.
And what's interesting about Kanye, too, is, you know, when he wore that hat and he said all the positive things about Trump, but now we're hearing a different side, that the reason why he supports Trump is because he sees that it's possible to become president, which seems like a very narcissistic point of view because now he thinks he can be president.
Well, I think that Kanye goes off on tangents a lot, and I think that this has even been something that Kim Kardashian herself has spoken out about, you know, his mental health, possibly the issues, which are very sad because you can get help for that. But
he is on treatment, and he did get help for it.
He's getting help for that.
Yep.
But I think it coupled with that, if you remember, he also tweeted that Obama was in office 8 years and did nothing for the country. So I think that Trump comment, you know, coupled with that, also makes people that may have thought he was, you know, against Trump, now it's like, hey, what are you doing? But if you're 50%, if you're like, hey, I support him, you got people over here mad. Now if you support them, you know.
You've isolated everyone.
You're isolated everyone else. So everybody should just shut up, I think, and have an opinion. That's the reason we have an election. It's never 100% one person.
I do not like the fact that Trump bashes other administrations, Republican and Democrat both, saying, if it wasn't for me, why was this all left up to me? No president ever did that. You respect the people who got you there. And so that part frustrates me as well, I got to tell you.
Agreed. DBL Nation, chime in. We like to have a conversation here at DBL, so all opinions are welcome. We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva has news at the moment.
Well, just announced actress Busy Phillips is getting her own late night show. She's set to host Busy Tonight, which will air on E! Network. She'll be the 4th woman on TV right now to have a late night show, joining Sarah Silverman, Samantha Bee, and Robin Thede. Production will start this summer.
That's amazing. You go, girl. Congrats.
She's going to be busy.
Yes.
That's good. Erica, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Want to know how to score affordable concert tickets? We've got 3 pro tips to getting the best deal for your dollar. Plus, our very own Jeff Schroeder in Hollywood for NSYNC's big day. We're taking you to LA for the boy band Bonanza. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Next, we share your comments live on air about a story getting a lot of buzz online.
All right, well, Mark certainly hit a nerve. You guys completely agreed with almost everything he was saying about letting people go. You have been taking Jeff's side, and he has been alone in this for a while, that you shouldn't bash someone for loving Trump. It makes no sense. My taking the devil's advocate is we've never had a president who bashes other people so much, so that the polarization and the anger is true. When you have him banning Muslims and saying Mexicans are raping, I think the anger level should, in retrospect, adapt to that level of vitriol. That's my comeback. What do you say to that?
Well,
and you can have your fair share.
I don't agree with everything he says, but you know, last night on Facebook, if you want to waste your time like I do too much, people are wearing ridiculous sweatshirts that I can't even say the words that are on, that mention things about Hillary, okay? Right. They said the worst things ever about this woman, okay? Why is that all right? Why does the base get to say, well, Trump can say whatever he wants, you know, he's going to drain the swamp. But if a Democrat or somebody on the opposing side says something, you know, like this young lady who was at the correspondence thing the other night, now she's human garbage.
That's
so I get really pissed off.
It's hypocritical.
Yes.
On both sides, it's not okay.
On both sides.
On both sides, it's not okay.
Do you think, and I'm asking you specifically, that the level of anger and the level of vitriol, I'll say again, that Trump spits out, does that not think our anger towards him as a president should also step up? And that's why we become so polarized.
I see what you're saying, and that's like the perfect argument. You know what I mean? Let's rise to his level. That's not the answer. If your principal of your school is a terrible person, does that mean you should be terrible at school, or are you going to still do your work and do what you have to do to get above for yourself? You want to rise, you don't care what your principal's like, you still want to graduate with honors and be the best person you can be. Doesn't matter. It's the same concept here. Our president right now is not in the best graces with America. That doesn't stop me from trying to be the best human I could be. Doesn't mean Trump cheated on his wife.
Accountability.
Right. Trump cheated on his wife. So you know what? I'm going to go cheat on my wife because Donald Trump did. That's an excuse?
And no,
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, there's a contradiction there. They're bashing Tom Brokaw, but the president did what he did. Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know, Stormy Daniels, that's fine, but Tom Brokaw kissed somebody 50 years ago. He should go to hell. Come on.
Right.
That's exactly
I'm just saying, I think people need to worry about themselves more. I'm worried about what I need to do in life, not worried about what the president's doing.
As a citizen,
Personally.
though, do you think you should be more worried for your country?
Maybe. That's the point you're coming on. But right now, there's nothing I could do about it but be a better person.
All right.
5 seconds.
Personal accountability.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. This story comes out of D.C., where the public school system is facing a graduation crisis. The D.C. school system reports only 46% of high school seniors are on track to graduate. It's a slight improvement from last year, but still means most students may not get a diploma in 2018. We want to hear from you. Why are so many kids not making it to graduation? Sam Shocker has your comments. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Erica. Let's get straight to your comments, DBL Nation. Karen writes in, extracurricular activities will help kids stay in school, and better engagement from teachers too, meaning smaller classroom sizes. All of these require more funding. Kids are worth it. Let's get Tamara into. Tamara says they need more funding for sure. Yeah, our school systems, my mom's been a teacher for 30 plus years. Our very own Al Jackson was a teacher for 5 years. Our education system, specifically now in DC, they're suffering. We need to start funding our schools, paying our teachers. Otherwise, kids aren't going to be motivated.
But I like the first comment about the extracurricular activities, because I was always in sports, and sports helped me do better in school. If you don't do good in school, you can't play sports. And I think that when I grew up, I think if you were just good at something, you didn't really have to focus. If I was great at football, I didn't have to focus on schoolwork so much. I don't think that's the case now. Oddly enough, I'm watching Coach Snoop on Netflix, and he really enforces that with his kids, and he coaches out of Compton. So he really puts those kids to the test. Like, you got to be good in school, you're not playing on my team. So I think people need to do more, more extracurricular activities.
And Della writes, parents need to be parenting. That means keep up with your kids' grades. Ask to see their graded work when they get home. There's no reason these kids should be failing several classes. You're a parent to two.
Well, mine are grown up. I have a grandson now. And, it's frightening to me that in our nation's capital, we don't have kids graduating from high school. That's an embarrassment. Tori's got all the news. Tori,
Come on over here, Tori. Tori's from D.C.
Yeah, you have a great point of view on this whole situation.
And in the D.C. situation,
Yes.
just so you know, we're taxed just as much as any other state, but we don't have a senator to represent us. We have a delegate. They don't get to vote at all. Eleanor Holmes Norton just basically speaks out loud. So there's no one backing up D.C. in their schools in any rate, although we're paying just as much.
How do you rectify this situation?
Every year, someone puts forth a bill saying D.C. should become a state because we pay just as much, and every year it never gets through the House or Senate. D.C. is a very Democratic district, and right now we have Republicans in both parties in the House and Senate. It's going to get killed on the floor, and it's on our license plate. If you are from D.C., it says taxation without representation. We have fought this for years.
Let me ask you this. Or go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, please.
This is like startling to me, especially because when you think about what happens next. If they don't graduate from high school, what are they going to do next? And in addition to that, we talked about if you feel like you're underpaid at a job, and so teachers are, looking at this situation like, I'm not going to say, oh well, because all the teachers I've been blessed to have really been there and pushed me. But I mean, it's just really just startling. What do they do?
It's our future. It's our future.
And D.C. had the highest capital murder for a long, long time. So you wonder, when those people don't graduate, they stay around, they don't do anything. You worry about the capital. It should be a better place to be. That's where your White House is.
Wow. Amen.
Yeah.
Very serious. I wish we could talk more about it. Perhaps we'll talk about it in the break.
Sure. Thanks,
Erica,
Tori.
what's coming up on DBL? Thanks, Tori.
Yeah. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big day is right around the corner, and we've got the details on Harry's pre-wedding weight loss plan. But first, Al Jackson's hilarious take on trending viral videos. Need a laugh? Stick around. Al Sounds Off next.
Harry, speaking to Jeff, I totally agree. To hate someone, unfriend them simply because they didn't vote for you. Who voted for you is just ridiculous and frankly dividing our country. It really saddens me. Have you ever disliked someone because of their political views?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think that's crazy?
You know, that's not true. If you are on either side, and I say this all the time and I stay behind it, if you are on either side, I don't care which side it is, and you are completely against the wall on that side, then I have a problem.
You don't like fundamental extreme.
I don't like on either side.
On either side.
On either side.
I
don't care what they are.
that's a fair point, because at what point?
Because there's no debate there.
Right.
And I like to learn when I have a debate, and I like to hear the other side, or something maybe I don't know. If you're so extreme about something, and I tend to, when people shove things down my throat, I tend to back away from that.
We've seen that when we're like, dance, and you're like, whoa, slow down.
So I tend to not respond well to that type of learning, I guess, if you want to call it
exactly.
that.
It's a way of discussing. And I think I was studying Buddhism, and my Buddhist teacher says there's some Buddhists that are like, you have to be Zen. Even that can be shoved down your throat. At either side, it's not healthy to be on the extreme.
Exactly.
You want to be in the middle.
The question I wanted to ask you on the panel
Yeah.
was about, so you're making a good point. So 50% graduation rate, right?
Yeah,
in Washington,
46%.
DC? Even less.
Yeah,
So
less than half.
Do you think that if you did give money to those situations, what do you think the percentage would go up? The kids are not going to school, but is it because they don't have the resources to learn, or is it because the kids don't want to be there?
All of that and above.
Okay.
All of that above.
That's the question I was
school
gonna
is not a
ask you.
healthy place to be, so they'd rather not be there. That's because the textbooks aren't there, the teachers don't care, there's no control, the class sizes are too big. If they have learning disabilities, no one's on top of that. Every other state, like Chicago, right, Illinois, you have 2 senators and representatives. They will go on bills and take an amendment and say, I want my Chicago public schools to get this amount of money, and I'm putting it at the end of this bill. It's called pork barreling. It's a very common practice. No one's doing that for DC because we don't have a senator or a representative. Exactly. Now the problem is they didn't want the political center of the country to be a state because they didn't want to go either side. But you're treating us like a state because we're getting taxed just as much. And our schools are absolutely failing. I mean, we've had really, really rough times. It's dangerous sometimes at public schools. So you see the danger with taxation without representation.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time now for Al Sounds Off, when comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he could find.
All right, that's what's up, man. How you feeling? Welcome back.
Feeling good. We're crushing it in the navy blue today, man.
All right, well done, Hannah.
All right, here we go, Al. What do you do if you love hockey, Al, but you don't know how to skate? All right, well, here's what you do, Al. Our friends at 12 News in Phoenix, Arizona have the answer. It's underwater hockey.
What?
People think we're kidding when we tell them. I keep a picture in my wallet of the sport just to be able to show people. No, really, it's a thing. There are about 25 countries around the world that play underwater hockey. We're the only team in the state. We're state champions.
I love underwater hockey.
It's just such a fun sport.
State champs.
Yeah, there's only one team. What do? Play with each other? You know,
state champ.
This has the same rules as hockey. No fighting with your sticks.
State champs. Let's get out of here. All right. Over the years, the magic of Disney has brought us so much, Al. Mickey Mouse, Disney World, and now a soft hand robot. Check this out.
That's right, Jeff. I need a robot with a soft hand. It's like going to after prom with the Terminator. At least we know that thing is lotion proof.
All right.
Excuse me. This is the technology at its best. I really like this. I'm going to use this in the future, this weekend. Let's go to the next one.
All right. The perfect baby doll is cute, cuddly, and is absolutely not creepy. Well, this doll is 2 out of 3. Enjoy. I would throw that thing out of my house.
Jeff, it's weird, but you know what? The baby just doesn't cry. It also tells your kid to come to the dark side. This is good if you're tired of your kid not sleeping in the bed until it's 16. And I'll just tell you this. It's it's a little scary for parents, but if you want to threaten them, be like, don't make me get the baby doll again.
There it is.
Be right.
Better behave. You better behave. All right, everybody. That's comedian Al Jackson. That's Al Sounds Off. We are live. Digital producer Brett Forrest with news at the moment.
Today, the company that makes Gibson guitars is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Gibson Brands was founded in 1894, and its guitars go hand in hand with rock and roll, with greats like Elvis Presley, B.B. King, Keith Richards, and Pete Townsend using their instruments. Bankruptcy will allow the company to continue operations with support from its creditors. Lenders will help repay $500 million in debt, giving Gibson hope for a comeback tour.
Wow. You missed Brett. He went, bow.
It's depressing.
How's your air guitar, Sam?
Not good. Can I see yours? Can I see yours?
I play the clarinet.
You got Ebony.
I always wanted to play the bass guitar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Just nod my head and
That's
just.
good.
I don't know what song this is, but this is the beat
I
of
like it. Thank you. I played the baritone.
Let's hear it.
You did really?
Yeah,
Let's
they called
hear
me
it.
the heavy metal. Literally and figuratively.
I play trombone.
Literally, figuratively. You play trombone?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
and me.
Absolutely.
Did you ever play piano? Everybody in my family, if you were a girl, you had to play piano.
I did play piano too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good at it though.
Me neither.
All right.
Interesting combo.
Do you believe in talking to the dead? Well, do you? LaToya Jackson does, and she says Michael's got a thing or two to say. And next in Heart Threads, you'll meet a former pro football player who hung up his cleats to help wounded veterans heal. Sorry if that.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hello, everyone. I am with Brett Forrest, digital producer. We have a
Hello.
Bush League story for you. Just kidding. It's about a Busch Gardens.
Yep, Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay. Maybe some of you guys have been there. They used to be owned by Anheuser-Busch. Did you know that?
No.
Hence the name. So their big thing was giving out free beer when they first opened, and they stopped that in 2009, bought out by some other
It's not
group.
a great financial scheme.
Well, they're bringing it back. Starting today through August 5th, they're giving out 2 free samples of beer for people who visit the park, kind of going back to their roots almost.
Okay.
And it's beer like Corona, Bud, Miller Lite, Yuengling beer.
Can you tell me how much a sample is?
I think it's 7 ounces, so
That's healthy. That's healthy.
yeah, it's nothing crazy. But then, so they're also starting like a brew club, a beer club. You can pay a yearly membership and go get free beer at the park. So it's kind of cool, back to its roots. That would make me want to go visit the park more.
You gotta separate yourself from Disney. What are you gonna do? Alcohol!
Actually, Disney California Adventureland has beer. But.
Ariel's Grotto has the best drinks. Ariel's Grotto, amazing. I'm gonna take a long walk all the way over. Oh God, Leo, I stepped on your foot.
I mean,
Leo.
long walk, wasn't it? I sounded like 7 ounces of happiness.
It does sound like that.
Free
Now, what's
beer.
this?
Now, this is trending on Movie Phone. Netflix is going to spike its sci-fi library. So they're essentially going to start making a lot more sci-fi titles. Because after their quarter-run release, they noticed a trend. More people are looking at their sci-fi originals than their comedy originals.
Interesting.
14%.
And they, oh wait, keep going.
Yeah, 14% of people voted the sci-fi as their favorite category, as opposed to comedy, which is 11. Now that's down from 15% of last year. So
Wow.
comedy's kind of
Because you think Netflix, you think very much comedy specials. Yeah. But there was so many last year. I remember being like, I'm sort of overwhelmed. I know. And sci-fi, I bet you a lot of Netflix and fantasy people go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got Stranger Things, you got the OA,
Right.
you got Lost in Space. A lot of series coming.
That's amazing. I say it sounds sci-fi to me.
Today's Heart Threads is all about making the best of life with the cards that you're dealt. Formerly deemed Mr. Irrelevant, David turned his life of football into a lifetime of helping others. Grab the tissues and watch this.
This NFL player gave up football to help wounded warriors. David Vobora was the last pick in the 2008 NFL Draft. Players picked last are deemed Mr. Irrelevant because they seldom start their rookie year.
My goal was to change the statistics on Mr. Irrelevant.
He became just the second Mr. Irrelevant to start in 15 years, but a shoulder injury in 2011 took David off the field. While rehabbing to make a comeback, he met veteran Travis Mills, who had lost all 4 limbs in Afghanistan. David was inspired to invite Travis to the gym and train him.
And that was the spark. I knew I had something that I could utilize for his benefit.
That decision would lead David to retire from the NFL to help people with disabilities and wounded veterans in his own gym.
What I'm doing today, I feel, is more significant than anything that I ever achieved in football. But football was the right recipe to create a platform to do this, and Mr. Irrelevant is a part of that story.
Wow.
You never know where your path is where it's gonna lead to.
And hearing his story, I don't know the relevance of calling him Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
because,
really.
You know what I mean? Like, you still made it to the NFL, but look what it's just, you know, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right.
Boom. And we have a lot of comments coming in from DBL Nation. So before we go to break, I want to read Phil Cohen. Nancy, Dancing with the Stars, was on Dancing, Nancy Kerrigan. There was a silver spoon for her and villainization for Tanya. Enough is enough. And you have some comments too.
Yes, Singing Mary. Hey, Mary. She says, here, Mark. I totally agree. To hate someone, unfriend them simply because they didn't vote for you or who you voted for is just ridiculous and frankly dividing our country. It saddens me.
Yeah, it's a weird world right now, and I just wish we could put it back the way it was in some form or fashion.
It's like no gray. It's either black or white. It's no gray area, you know?
Yeah, I think it's always important to have a discussion, and I've learned that from you. So thank you.
Thank you. I wasn't being
thank you.
You still watch us live on Facebook. Here's what's coming up next on DBL. Clearly, we don't give each other.
Michael Jackson is pretty chatty these days. His sister LaToya says she's talked to him. Ever hear of a happiness class? In our DBL Spotlight, we're showing you the free online course anyone can take to be more happy. And can bad sex doom a relationship? You may be surprised. More Daily Blast Live when we come back. So we're talking about Netflix because they are now bringing back more sci-fi shows instead of Netflix comedy specials. They are seeing that the comedy specials went from 15% of people who liked it to 11%, and sci-fi went up. So the commenters are writing in. The OA, Lost in Space, if you haven't seen it. Black Mirror.
If they could just do
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things is the big one that won, exactly.
I'm all for it.
Black Mirror, just, the seasons have those short 4 or 5 episodes.
It's because it's the British style.
I know, but if I could just get, if you guys know of a Black Mirror type show, because that's really all the sci-fi I can take. I need something that has like a thriller type story.
Like a suspense line going through it. I feel you.
I need that.
Black Mirror, is there anything else like that? Well, really, to be honest, it was based on The Twilight Zone. Brooks, my husband, goes and watches The Twilight Zone, and it's not too scientifically fantastical. It's just in our near future what could be happening.
And if you haven't seen any of the episodes of Black Mirror, just start from, you can watch them all in a Saturday.
Yeah, they're all individual episodes, so you don't have to catch up with any of them, but they are insane.
And they're like 40 minutes each, and so it's a real quick and easy watch.
And
like this,
yeah,
to the
and
TV.
philosophically, they bring up things like pretend your likes is your currency. So, for instance, she
Or
couldn't
your
buy a
credit
coffee.
score.
Right. If you don't get enough likes, you can't buy a cup of coffee. That's like not very far in the future. That's like 45, 50. I mean, it's interesting takes on.
If your number isn't high enough, you can't. Even if you have the money, you can't fly first class.
Exactly. Crazy things like that. So let us know what you guys think.
In other words, just friend us and we'll friend you back.
That's right. We need it. We need it. Let us know what your favorite episode is in Black Mirror. A lot of
Which
people.
one is yours?
I like San Junipero. That was a good ending one.
Mm-hmm.
That's about what happens when you die. And each episode has some really strong actors. John Hamm, Bryce Dallas Howard. I got to get out of here, but we both love it. You enjoyed. Let us know what you think.
I love your hair, Tori.
Yes.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. A big DBL welcome to guest co-host Marc Summers, everybody.
Thank you. I'm having the best time here.
Yay!
It's
We're
so
glad
much
to have
fun.
you here.
It's cool.
Well, we love having you. And of course, you guys all know him from Double Dare, Nickelodeon, and Unwrapped on the Food Network. And Double Dare is coming back.
That's the rumor.
But he can't say too much.
I know, it's killing me.
Just got a fascinating email about it too, but
I might take your phone of yours.
Now, what years did you do it before?
86 to 94.
Gosh,
525 episodes.
Did you think it would come back? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all are like sickly nostalgic about it.
The time you know who I need to send a thank you letter to? Probably Roseanne.
Really?
Because, I think, Will and Grace started it, but Roseanne exploded, and now all of a sudden it's Murphy Brown, and they're talking about the West Wing, and I just think synergistically it all helped.
Yeah, people really do want to watch something that they remember when they were in such like a good place.
I agree.
And yeah, I can't wait.
I smell that cologne again.
Yeah.
Endless money. Endless money right there, y'all.
Yeah, I smell it too. All right, moving on. A new fallout today after Michelle Wolf's controversial White House Correspondents' Dinner roast. Right now, news outlet The Hill says it will not participate in any of the future dinners because of Wolf's jokes. But other comedians are coming to Wolf's defense, including Seth Meyers, who delivered the dinner's roast back in 2011. Here's what he said about it last night.
When you call her filthy, you are right. She is filthy, and she is mean, which is what we love about her. Because those are wonderful qualities for comedians and terrible qualities for free world leaders.
And today, Wolf stands by her speech. She tells NPR, quote, "I wouldn't change a single word. I'm glad I stuck to my guns."
Why do you think that she's getting so much hate?
I don't know.
Is it because she's a female comic? Is it because she was unfunny? Is it because she crossed the line?
Sometimes when some people, some comedians, even now, just have that persona, they could say whatever they want. Daniel Tosh, for example, could say whatever he wants and doesn't seem to offend anybody because he offends everybody equally. I don't think anyone should take offense, especially at a roast. You're there to roast somebody, you're going to hear some off-putting things, some discolored comments. That's a roast. So I don't agree with everything, but again, I think some people could pull off being rude in a funny way, and some people can't.
Ebony, you wrote something down. What is it? Tell me.
Oh, when Jeff was just talking, I was thinking of somebody that you're describing, in my eyes, like a Dave Chappelle. He can get away with saying something. He had a show. He has a strong fan base. But I think that, number one, she was set up, meaning that the people that I guess vetted out the comedians, I don't think that she was right for this particular forum. And when you say the fact that she was a female, I think that has something to do with it. The fact that in the tweet Trump called her filthy, that wouldn't be offensive to a man. But I think the fact that a lot of people don't know her, she's not tried and true, even though she does have an underground following. That's why she didn't get the support.
That's interesting because you both mentioned male comics and that they could get away with it. So if it was Joan Rivers, do you think that she would have been able to get away with it? Do you think that Joan Rivers would not have worked in this day and age?
She probably would have worked because she was an established comic. Okay?
And this is an unknown female
It's
comic.
an unknown female comic. I think female comics have a more difficult time. But also, a sense of humor, we may not all laugh at the same joke.
Right.
There's a young comedian who's out globally right now who has this huge following. I've seen her several times. She's never made me laugh once. But that's just me. Obviously, enough people like her. She's filling stadiums across the world.
This young female
I'm not going to mention her name. But I'll tell you during the break.
Okay,
but the situation is, humor is subjective. Now, the nasty thing, I get frustrated, and I'm going to turn it a little bit here. I'm going to go to the Tom Brokaw thing just for 2 seconds, because people are talking about him. A third woman came out and said, 50 years ago, he tried to kiss me, okay? And the base is upset, and there are many people who are against Tom Brokaw. Meanwhile, Stormy Daniels and the president, that seems to be okay, I guess. I don't know. These standards are all screwed up. If you're on this side, then that's okay. Grab them by the you-know-what. That wasn't nasty, okay? But the president's allowed to say that.
Because it's become political.
It's insane.
Right.
It's just got to stop.
All right, it's just got to stop. You heard it here first, everybody.
Hashtag.
Yeah, please. Let's just, at least like you've always said, have a conversation.
That's all.
I know.
Even if you disagree, just have the conversation.
I agree. All right, Florida is now requiring schools to add armed security. The new law comes in the wake of February shooting in Parkland. It will now require armed security at all schools, but it's up to the local districts to find the funding. I have to go right to you because your kids have gone through school.
Yes.
How do you feel about arming teachers or having armed security guards? Do you want guns in schools, period?
No. I think it's the most insane thing.
What's your fear of having guns in schools?
Somebody's going to get killed who shouldn't get killed. Think of what just happened at Parkland. There was a guy there who was paid to do it, and he didn't do anything. Okay, now he's being sued by one of the parents whose child died in those situations. Have we really come to this in America, where we're arming teachers and people around the school? It's so sick to me. I mean, now we're going to get into gun control, and don't even get me going on that. I just think it's horrendous that we're even thinking about doing this.
Do you think that it's a great idea to arm schools if it is a deterrent? I mean, you know where I stand, DBL Nation. I'm with you, but perhaps I'm not thinking clearly. Perhaps I'm thinking of the worst case scenario. Is it a better situation to have an armed guard because it could deter possible Nicholas Cruz?
Well, the first thing you said that I heard you say is about funding for it, and it kind of saddens me, and I feel like it's ridiculous that all of these stories that we're talking about that have to do with schools, teachers not getting paid enough, but we're talking about funding for guns.
No resources.
No resources. 46% of the kids in D.C. aren't going to graduate, but we're talking about more money for guns. It's like, where are our priorities, and what is going on right now? So I don't even know if I really have the answer.
Because our priorities, in your opinion, are not aligned.
Exactly.
We don't have them straight.
Well, let me ask you guys. You have young
Jeff,
children.
answer it. Yeah.
And you gotta be going to these schools. I'm assuming maybe public schools. What are your thoughts?
I was always I don't want armed. I don't want more guns.
Yes.
You know, I don't want more guns. I think a lot of accidents happen even in a house. Look at an average household. People are very secure with their guns. They put them away. They're very, they take care of their guns. And somehow the kid finds a way to open it, and an accident happens. Yeah. I think this is just going to increase accidents. On the other side, it might deter somebody from coming in that school if you know there's an armed guard in there or two. too.
Or they
I get
overtake
it,
him
but
and
it
use
wouldn't,
that gun.
It wouldn't be my choice to arm someone in a school.
DBL Nation, chime in. We do want to hear from you. Switching gears here, LaToya Jackson is reaching out to her late brother, King of Pop, Michael Jackson, from beyond the grave. She appears on Hollywood Medium tomorrow night with Tyler Henry. Take a look.
Everybody wants to know really what truly happened. That was my brother's hat.
Wow. There's a lot there.
Is there?
I don't even know where to start.
And LaToya says that Michael is worried about his daughter Paris and wants to make sure that all of his kids are okay. You visually fainted a little bit. Why? Was that?
I would rather have my eyebrows plucked out one by one than to hear anything else LaToya Jackson has to say.
Why?
She drives me crazy. She has on half of a fireman's suit, and then she have on a captain sailor hat, and then she's always talking about Michael. And I read this, that Michael told her that before he died. Make sure you take care of Paris before, before he actually died. Just let him rest in peace.
Yeah.
Please, stop saying you didn't see Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. We ain't seen none of them. Gone, LaToya.
But what if it gives her some sort of closure, some sort of peace? I know that when I lost my grandmother, who was my best friend, who I named, Sophie is named after my daughter, I did seek a clairvoyant or an intuitive medium, whatever you want to call them, and it did give me peace to talk to that to talk about her, to hear that she's watching over me. What's wrong with that?
I had dinner with Elvis the other night, so I don't know. I mean,
okay.
I guess in this particular case, I just think that
you don't feel it's sincere.
Right. I just feel, especially LaToya, they try to still pick on Michael Jackson's legacy.
Yeah.
I
could see that.
And this is what I think, too. A lot of times when we hear clairvoyant people say stuff, they always say, make sure you do this. They never say, do you still like cheese on your hamburger? Why is it always something that is grand? Why isn't it just a regular conversation then?
Sometimes it can be super specific. It's been specific with me. And I know our very own Erica Cobb, it was very specific with her DBL contract here.
Years ago, when my kids were little, there was a kids' clothing store in Encino, California, and we're in there, and Michael Jackson is in there looking for clothes, and we said, excuse me, but why are you here? And he's looking for clothes for my monkey.
Is that a real story?
That's a real story.
That's amazing.
Absolutely true.
Bubbles.
Yeah, Bubbles. It was Bubbles.
Wow.
That's right. Looking for clothing for my monkey. Yeah,
wow. Good story. All right, that's a good button to wrap on. And now it's time for some news from across the pond. It's the Royal Watch with Tori Schulman.
How could I beat that story? That's incredible. Hear ye. A royal decree this morning. Kensington Palace has released the birth certificate for our new Prince Louis. Here it is, and check out the occupations listed for mom and dad. Prince and Princess of the United Kingdom. Yeah, no duh, guys. And today is May Day, the 1st of May, and that means it's only 18 days until the royal wedding. So in honor of the big day, England has done the most British thing possible. It has released a new royal coin of the new royal couple. I mean, it looks more like Ted Danson is finally marrying Shelley Long. Salmon diet forever, guys. Cheers. And we're also learning that Meghan Markle has been a positive influence on Prince Harry's diet. He's apparently slimming down for the big day. This is Harry before Meghan, the Burger King, the Duke of Dessert, the Earl of Sandwich, and here he is now. Yeah, he can buck my ham palace any day. Back to you guys.
That was a roller coaster of emotions there.
Quite the ride there, Tori Schulman. From a new NASCAR baby to a Hamilton-inspired song, Erica Cobb has more top trending stories.
Well, a big shout out today to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his wife, Amy. They just announced this morning that they are new parents to a baby girl, Isla Rose Earnhardt. Congratulations, guys. And Lin-Manuel Miranda has just released his latest Hamil drop, new content inspired by his hit musical Hamilton. This one is called First Burn. Check it out. You can expect new music every month through the end of the year. And in case you're not lucky enough to wake up in the happiest place on earth every day, Disney World live streamed the sunrise from the Magic Kingdom this morning. Looks like a happily ever after to me. Coming up on Daily Blast Live, bad sex. Can it actually cause a breakup? And next on Daily Blast Live, a big shout out to NSYNC. Daily Blast Live is taking you to LA for their Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. And later, we're shining the DBL spotlight on a happiness class, the free course you can take to brighten up your outlook.
Hey everyone, it's Connor Ashley from the digital team. So trending right now from Bustle is a news story about Facebook. So Facebook is trying out this new feature on their site where you can upvote or downvote comments on posts. Now, this has already been rolled out in the US to a small select few of Facebook users, but they've just rolled it out in New Zealand and Australia. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but it does look something like this. It's almost like a Reddit sort of theme here, where you can specifically either upvote or downvote different comments. And Facebook said that they are doing this to really gauge what users interact with and what they like and dislike most out of the platform. So let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think that it's better than the average like button, or would you rather just stick with that? Let me know. Alrighty, Kelly.
Hey guys, you know that we're keeping you updated on all things royal in anticipation of the big day on May 19th. And something else that makes the wedding a little bit special is that Meghan Markle is actually not a UK citizen, so the royal wedding actually needs a citizen test before she can actually have her nuptials. So she is in the process of taking a UK citizen test. Answers such as how old is the Big Ben and other London trivia really is what she needs to complete before she's married. Now, if you want to know what actually goes into that, you can actually go to AP Reuters site and see the entire test on there. It's the same thing as a U.S. citizenship test. You need that in order to be officially married, and we wish them the best. We'll keep tracking through all of the royal watch what's going on with the wedding. Stay tuned for the next part of the show, and keep writing in so we can always get back to you guys in real time. That's what makes Daily Blast Live special, so keep writing in, keep commenting. We'll be getting back to you guys, and stay tuned for the rest of the fun coming up. Bye, guys.
All right, it's time now for Chatting with the Stars. They sold nearly 30 million records in the U.S. and won numerous awards. Yesterday, the band NSYNC was honored with their own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, along with thousands of fans and celebrity speakers. I was in Los Angeles to take part in the festivities. Check it out.
Right now, they're about to receive the 2,636 star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The crowd's pumped up, but right now, the ceremony's about to begin. How long have you guys been standing out here?
We got in line at 8:30.
8:30 this morning?
Last night. PM.
What?
This is one of the most enthusiastic crowds we've ever had.
They were interviewed by yours truly wearing a much too small tiny Santa hat and black fingernails. I got to be a part of history as America met and fell in love with NSYNC for the very first time on U.S. television.
Of course, the band is made up of the cute one, the bad boy, the sensitive one, the sexy one, and Joey.
And we thought actually Ellen was actually in the group because half the time we called Lance Ellen. We thought he was
Secret, I was gay. I thought if I had come out, NSYNC would be over, so out of fear I kept my secret. But so many nights on stage I'd see young gay fans singing their hearts out, and I wanted so badly to let you know I was you. And so let me say loud and proud to all my LGBT brothers and sisters who embrace me and show me the way to be who I am. Thank you so much.
I don't really think I can put into words how much the four of you mean to me. You know, I just love all of you so much. I love you! So, don't touch me. Our moms and dads have been really, y'all the real MVP. my beautiful wife who's here today. I love you so much.
They're not really doing interviews, they said personally, but I'm going to see what I could do. Lance, come on, buddy. You got to come talk to Daily Blast Live. Matt,
This
how
is
does
like
stack up?
the button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us, especially having everyone here, you guys. It's been an incredible day.
It's been special, man. You're the best, Lance. Congrats. All right, guys, that's it. It's official. NSYNC star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's been a crazy day here. So happy to be here. April 30th is officially NSYNC Day, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, buddy.
That was good. That was a highlight. No, I'm not kidding. That was a
How
highlight.
did you get in there? Because I saw when you were interviewing Lance, the only one, by the way, I saw Extra, ET, Access Hollywood all trying to get in on
So
that.
they said right before they were about to leave, they're like, we're not doing any interviews, guys. So their spokesperson said it. And Lance like looked at me and I was
you
like,
and Lance are friends.
Me and Lance are friends. Thank you, Lance, so much for that interview. And even though it was the second, he goes like this and he came over to me. Then all the other outlets were coming over. You saw like Extra there, Entertainment Tonight. I was like, beat it. This is for Daily Blast Live. And Lance gave me the button. And it was a great day. I'm so proud of NSYNC. So proud of my buddy Lance. He gave a great speech. And it was really like a special day. Like, I love when people's dreams come true. It gets me emotional, you know?
See, that's what makes you such a good person is you like to see other people achieve their dreams. You always uplift people rather than break them down. And I love that about you.
Thanks, Sam.
We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Right now, Disney is bringing the Magic Kingdom to your kitchen. The company just announced its new digital channel called Disney Eats. It features Disney-themed food. Upcoming shows include Kitchen Little, which pairs celebrity chefs with kids ready to learn to cook, and Must Be Science, where food and science collide. Some of the videos are already up, and we'll share that link on our social pages.
Super cute. Thank you, Raquel. Love it.
I think Disney has money to burn. Like, they can try something, but okay, that doesn't work. We'll do something else.
Yeah, and they got Star Wars money now, so come on now.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we're shining the DBL spotlight and all on an online course all about being happy. Why it might just be what we all need. Amen to that.
I don't know. I mean, who is that? His name is Tom Dreesen. He's a stand-up comic. He opened for Frank Sinatra for 15 or 20 years. I've known him for years.
That is Jeff in 30 years.
And Mark said that looks like me.
Yeah, this is like a flash forward.
Well, I remind him.
Yeah, I remind him because I knew Tom when he was that age.
Silver Fox and everything.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm telling you. And you have the same voice too.
He's a handsome fellow.
He is.
So let's keep it going. So Mark, you can't give us any secrets.
I cannot as of yet, but soon,
But
hopefully.
they're coming.
They're coming, yeah. I mean,
You're setting up. You're setting up for the party.
I'm saying, getting ready to hit one out of the park. I hope, that would be very cool.
I love it. Well, we definitely have to do something on Daily Blast Live.
That would be cool. Absolutely.
Double Dare related.
So you were probably the target age. You grew up.
Oh
probably
yes,
watching, yeah,
definitely.
And Chicago was our biggest market.
I love that show.
We
I
played
wanted to be on so bad.
Rosemont Horizon.
Yes.
And we sold that place out. They were scalping tickets in the parking lot for hundreds of dollars. And Gene Siskel from Siskel and Ebert came up on stage, I remember, and we did something with him. So Chicago was a massive, it was fantastic.
You did Double Dare at the Rosemont Horizon?
We sold out. We did 8 years, 40 personal appearances a year for 8 years, and we would sell at Palace of Auburn Hills and Rosemont and all that kind of stuff. It was insane. It was like being a rock star for kids.
What's it like, hosting a show in a stadium?
Oh my God! I mean, when you walk out on that stage and
the crowd roars,
and the crowd roars like that, it's overwhelming. So when you think about NSYNC and seeing those guys, well, they used to play stadiums of 60,000 people. I didn't do that.
Right.
But we would sell at 18 to 20,000.
But that's still enormous.
It's insanity.
And
It's
people
insanity.
yelling for everyone to go do the physical challenges and getting crazy.
And you have to adjust to the sound and the timing and that whole situation. It's a different feeling,
That must have been exciting.
It was.
You got any of those planned for the next round?
It's in the works.
Oh, see what I did there? I tried to get it out of them.
We're actually opening a tour the end of June.
Ooh.
Yes.
There you go. That's a tidbit.
There you go. Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Atlanta. There's a little tip.
That's a tip. We got something breaking right here on Daily Blast Live.
Today, we're shining the DBL spotlight on what makes us happy. The answer may be in Yale professor Lori Santos' class. Her course, Psychology and the Good Life, has become affectionately known around campus as the happiness class and is the most popular in Yale's history. But the really happy news? Now you can enroll online for free. Joining us now for our very own DBL Happiness Crash Course is Professor Lori Santos. And happiness is a big concept. So what is a small change we can make immediately to be happier?
Really what the research suggests is that simply by engaging in your own kind of easy practices, some of those practices are just things like savoring, trying to stay in the present moment, trying to reduce your mind wandering. Another easy happiness practice is gratitude. Try to practice appreciating the things that you have, and even doing simple random acts of kindness for other people.
But you say part of the issue is our misconceptions about happiness, and I've heard the term that you get in your own way. How do we get in our own way?
Really, it's our minds that get in our own way. Our minds tell us that to be happy, we need to do certain things, like we need to change something about our lives. But really, what to seek out to be happy is just to do simple things like seek out other people, trying to have time for yourself, a concept that researchers refer to as time affluence.
And what are a few tools that the DBL viewers and myself can use to create their own happiness? Let's talk about in the long term.
The research suggests that very happy people tend to spend a lot of time with others, and that suggests that if we want to be happiest, we should just prioritize the people we care about, spending time with our loved ones.
So when you hear about a happiness course, a lot of students seem to think that this is an easy course to take, but you in fact say it's one of the hardest courses. Why is that?
Yeah, we created this hashtag, hardest class at Yale. And the reason is that becoming happier is hard in the sense that what we really need to do is that we have to fight our bad habits. We need to put into place better practices.
Now, for the first time, people don't have to go to Yale to take your course. They can do it online. So for more information, go to Coursera.org. That's Coursera.org. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We are live. Al Jackson has a new story coming in hot.
That's right. Paul Rudd is back, and it's his Ant-Man. And this time, he needs backup to take on this new villain. Here's a first look at the new trailer, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Hi. Like a partner.
Ant-Man and the Wasp teaming up.
Follow my lead.
She seems more intense.
That's right, guys. Ant-Man and the Wasp buzzes in the theaters July 6th. Back to you. Yes.
Do you know there's a sequel already coming out?
No, what's it called?
Ant-Man and the Jew. It's, yeah. It's only you and I apparently got that. You never heard the term WASP? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant?
No.
You never heard that term?
No.
Okay, well, we'll educate you during the break and then...
Okay, we'll be right back.
I've just offended most of America, perhaps.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
What's happening?
No, I never heard. We actually...
Is brought to you by...
Did you...
Okay.
Because you've used it before.
Wasp is a perfect. Well, okay, yeah.
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 White Anglo-Saxon
Saxon Protestant.
I didn't know
You
that.
never heard that term before?
No.
Yeah. The Jews know that.
That's funny.
We're good.
That's
We're fine.
funny.
We're not offended at all. How was? Did you guys watch Jeff's thing?
Oh, absolutely.
How was it? Was it amazing?
Amazing.
He did a pretty good job. Am I right?
Amazing, and he got in there, man. I've been to those
He
type
boxed him out.
It's hard.
I loved it. I also love the fact that he's passionate about it.
He is.
That's so cool.
And he's openly honest about loving boys.
Oh,
Who's-
yeah.
Who is that? And a lot of people are saying we love your positivity, so go Jeff. We want to just give you a shout out. People are saying great job, so happy one of your dreams came true. Would you say top 10 bucket list?
I don't know. You know, I just felt like this. I felt like a certain way yesterday. You know, like it was cool
Yeah, what do you
being
keep
so
saying that, like,
close, being so close, and seeing those guys like achieve their dreams, like they were assembled. You know, whatever.
20 years since their album dropped. You know, maybe 22 years ago since they were assembled.
And they're still relevant.
And it's like, when they put that together, were they ever like, we're gonna get a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Probably not. You know, and to see them end up there and like Lance being such a good guy, such a good person, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for all of them.
Bravo, guys.
Amazing. Welcome back to DBL. We have a lot of comments in regard to you, Jeff, and your interview with NSYNC or Lance. Tammy Gibson on YouTube. Jeff, you did a good job to get Lance to come to you. Just elbow your way in. E-Teen Access Hollywood won't mess with you. And Diane Sawyer, yay, Jeff, awesome interview. Singing Mary, great job, Jeff. You did awesome. Congrats to you, Lance, and NSYNC. And Beth Ulrichsen on Facebook said, Jeff looks so excited, LOL. That's awesome.
I was very, very excited, but I don't know if the congratulations are in order for me. Just the boys.
You did a great job. You did a great job. All right, the stories never stop. We don't either. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Keep the conversation going. Yeah, Marc Summers is here the rest of the week. I didn't get a countdown. Oh.
I just ran 4 steps because we're doing emoji headline, all right? So it's today's headline with emojis. Everyone help out. Free bee, okay, so that's a pirate. Free bee, pirate human. Pirate human.
Free beer.
Free, free beer. Did you know that already?
No.
Are you cheating, Sharon?
No.
I'm concerned that we have Sharon's cheating. All
No,
right.
that was
free
I
beer.
myself.
You man.
Him.
Him. You know.
Him. But him.
Oh, I'm back at Busch Gardens. Free beer.
At.
What is that?
Man minus.
Is, oh, his, minus the H, is. Free beer is back. By the way, good back. At Busch Gardens.
That
What?
was impressive.
What?
And you thought I was cheating?
Today on Daily Blast Live, Tonya Harding makes her Dancing with the Stars debut. Will the figure skating icon be enough to make you watch? Roseanne and Kanye West double down on their support of Donald Trump, but isn't everyone entitled to their own opinion? DBL goes to Hollywood for NSYNC's Walk of Fame star ceremony, and our own Jeff Schroeder catches up with the guys. Daily Blast Live starts right now.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We hope you're having a great Tuesday so far. We have a very special guest co-host with us all week. Look at that cute face. That's Marc Summers right there. You remember him as the host of the hit show Double Dare that aired for years on Nickelodeon. We got a lot of great topics to discuss, guys. Marc, thank you so much for being here all week.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Ooh, I love that voice.
It got real serious.
It did. All right, thank you, Marc. We're gonna do some stuff with Marc later in the week, so stay tuned for that. Possibly Double Dare related.
Ooh, physical challenge.
It's definitely going to be Double Dare.
It's going to be.
All right. Everyone is talking about Dancing with the Stars. 8.4 million viewers tuned into the premiere of the special All-Athlete Edition. The show came in second, losing out to NBC's The Voice. And all eyes were on Olympian Tonya Harding, of course, the notorious figure skating icon. Look at there she is right there. In fact, even Allison Janney, who won an Oscar playing Tanya's mother, was there to support her. Take a look at Tanya's foxtrot. And social media reaction was mixed. One person says, I will never watch Dancing with the Stars. Why? 2 words, Tonya Harding. While another says, really pissy at all the hate Tonya Harding is getting. God forbid someone try to be a better person or grow over the course of 2 decades. How do you think Tonya did? Head over to our website at dailyblastlive.com to vote now.
You know what, Jeff? If she had admitted that she knew what she did, that she came clean and she was like, I had those guys beat up Nancy Kerrigan or injure her. If she had been able to explain to the FBI,
part in it.
Yeah, if she had been able to explain to the FBI why they found Nancy Kerrigan's training times and ice times crumpled up in a trash can near where she lived, then I would be down with this comeback. But you know, it's pretty like full of hypocrisy. So I don't know. She's got to do what they got to do, and Dancing with Stars wants viewers, and it works. So
right.
And what do you guys think? Because from a legal standpoint, I think she was found guilty of, what do you call it when you
obstructing justice?
Yes, obstructing justice. And what did she get? Let me see, 3 years probation, 500 hours of community service, and $100,000 fine.
And banned from life, banned for life from the ice skate.
Being able to ice skate. So sometimes I wonder, you know, if the legal system has done its job and people have moved on, i.e. when I think about situations like this, like Michael Vick, but people won't let that go because of the dog thing. And of course, the first trial with O.J. Simpson, our legal system found it that way. But do we really, like, you know, I guess everybody has their own opinion, but it just makes me think.
Yeah, like she's already served the time in a way. I have a hard time though with Al too, because I guess it was a direct hit on another competitor, another human, and for some reason it's Dancing with the Stars. I don't consider her a star. I really don't. I consider her someone of a pop culture infamy.
This movie made her a star.
It's very true. And Allison Janney was interesting.
A whole new group of people.
She said this movie brought me back from the end of it all, and I wonder, were you okay with Allison Janney being in the audience?
That's the question I was asked.
Yeah.
So it's weird that she still continues to support her. I don't know if she had to be there. She's a big enough star to be like, I don't need to be here.
Right. McKenna Grace was there too, the young girl that played her as a daughter.
Yeah.
Is Johnny Depp still supporting Whitey Bulger? He played, he played him in the movie.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
It is a reality show though, and they need a villain, and people are tuning in, and we're talking about it.
We opened with it. This is our lead story.
Yep. And look at no way. The audience says 57%.
Shout out to Nancy Kerrigan.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we are live, and we're just learning that a third woman has come forward accusing Tom Brokaw of making an unwanted sexual advance in 1968. That's right. No word yet from Brokaw about this new allegation. Meantime, we're learning more about a letter signed by more than 115 women in support of the veteran news anchor. Page 6 reports that female staffers at NBC say they felt huge pressure to sign. One woman said, quote, the letter was being handed around the office, and the unspoken threat was that if your name was not on it, there would be some repercussions down the road. Again, one woman, I just want to point out, 115 signatures, one woman said she felt threatened. So I don't want to discredit on 114 other signatures on Tom Brokaw's side.
I want to kind of clarify, Jeff, before we get into this. Is she saying she felt threatened, or is she saying that he made a pass that was unwanted?
Well, the threatening was for signing. So they were signing saying, Tom Brokaw never did anything to me like this. They were sticking up for Tom Brokaw. The woman in question in 1968, it sounds like to me was just a pass because nothing happened. He tried and he said, I tried and I left it at that, and she agrees. That's the story.
Yeah, is he a real schmuck for being married and trying to kiss someone? Yeah. Is he as horrible as Harvey Weinstein?
Assuming that you know what's going on with their marriage.
That's right. It might have been an open marriage. You're absolutely right. But for him to make a pass at someone back in 1968, and I'm not trying to let this go because I do understand.
It's alleged.
It's alleged, but I do. You know me. I'm someone who would stick up for the victim here, but I'm not seeing the same types of reports that make me hugely aggravated
let me ask you
to take down his career.
Are we now, if somebody makes a pass and it's unwanted, is it now like something where you can years later be like, hey, 15 years ago, Jeff made a pass to me in college? Is this so? Is every pass that is not accepted, is this now a mark on your record?
And that's a good question, Alan. Then this is what I think too. Do you think, because they say like if you go through sexual harassment stuff at work, they say that if you tell someone it makes you feel uncomfortable and then they stop, are they still guilty? Because in this story, I think that she said no, it's all about your wife, and he said, yeah, I'm remembering my wife. So is that
he
wrong?
Stopped after she said no.
Of course, because he's married, right? But he did stop. So is that, I don't know.
Would you say that's wrong? If someone made a pass at you like to kiss you, would you say that's sexual harassment?
If he was married, I mean, we're not even, of course. But if I think that if maybe he didn't know, I gave out the wrong signal, and once we have an understanding, then we go from there. If he kept on going, then that I would be offended.
Is it enough to take down Tom Brokaw's whole career? Is my question.
And what
is this enough for that? And I'm not saying I know the answer, but that's a question we should be asking, I think.
And we should find the etiquette book. What's the rules on making a pass in 1968?
Probably slap him and throw some gin at them.
No.
Hey!
60s, peace and love, man.
Okay, right on, right on.
Stars are responding to criticism for their support of President Trump. First, Kanye West just posted a video to his website defending this hat and explaining why he supports the president. Watch this.
When I wear that hat, it's like a fight for equality. Like, oh, I can wear this hat too. Half Trump does, I don't agree with.
What hat do you agree with?
Just the ability to do what no one said you could do, to do the impossible, is the most inspiring thing to me.
And meantime, Roseanne has her own philosophy on how to deal with haters. Here's what she told Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show.
Oh, yeah, people are mad about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't give a Everybody had to choose for themselves, according to their own conscience, who they thought was the lesser of two evils. You know, everybody chose that, so I'm not going to put anybody down who didn't vote like me. This is America. It's a free country.
She's right.
I agree with Roseanne on
She's
this one.
totally right. Everyone's allowed to have their own. I think for Kanye, and you know, I love Kanye's music. I really do. I think he's a genius with music. But what I don't get is you can be inspired by someone, but you have to look at the context of that inspiration. And when you're inspired by someone just saying, I can do the impossible, well, Hitler did the impossible. Mussolini did the impossible. You've got to be careful with your platform. I'm not saying he has to be pro-Trump or anti-Trump. I think he just has to be more specific when you're talking about inspiration.
What's wrong with finding inspiration in maybe something that's not so positive? I'm not going to use Hitler as an example, but what's wrong with looking at the good in something that's bad and pulling that positive out of there?
I guess, I mean, that's a fair argument. I wonder when he says, like, even he says, my wife called me and she wanted me to make this clear. I don't agree with everything Trump does. I think Kim Kardashian in some ways has her hand on the pulse of saying this guy is so polarizing. To say you're inspired by him can offend an enormous amount of people.
I get that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, the rapper The Game was talking about it and talking about the fact that he's a genius. And sometimes when he says things, you kind of listen. You're like, But then he'll start stringing other stuff in there too. That's like, this is a little off balance.
Yeah, he kind of goes off on a
tangent.
Yeah.
And so in addition to making that Trump tweet, he also said Obama was in office 8 years and nothing happened. He tweeted that out as well. So I just think that a lot of people are trying to figure out what he's trying to do.
People with healthcare would disagree with that.
Yeah, and by the way, singer Questlove wore a T-shirt reading "Kanye doesn't care about black people," which is interesting because that's what Kanye said about George W. Bush. So a lot of people are angry with Kanye. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting.
All right, we are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva has news at the moment. Raquel.
Yeah, just announced actress Busy Phillips is getting her own late night show. She's set to host Busy Tonight, which will air on E! Network. She'll be the 4th woman on TV right now to have a late night show, joining Sarah Silverman, Samantha Bee, and Robin Thede. Production will start this summer.
She's going to be busy. Sam Shocker, what's coming up on Daily Blast Live?
Want to know how to score affordable concert tickets? We've got 3 pro tips to getting the best deal for your dollar. Plus, our very own Jeff Schroeder in Hollywood for NSYNC's big day. We're taking you to LA for the boy band Bonanza. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Next, we share your comments live on air about a story getting a ton of buzz online.
Yeah. So Sam just brought up a great point. So Kanye West, in addition to being a pro-Trump person, just wrote "My Hero" and put up a picture of Emma Gonzalez, the Parkland shooting survivor. He tweeted "My Hero." Well, Emma Gonzalez didn't take too kindly to that because she isn't a Trump fan. Whether or not to say that's right or not, but she wrote "My Hero," and it was a picture of James Shaw Jr. If you guys know, he was the one to wrestle the AR-15 out of the Tennessee Waffle House man's hands. He burned his hand from the barrel of an AR-15 and has a bullet graze because he goes, if you're going to kill me, you better fight me for it.
He's also paying for the funerals of all 4 of the victims with the money that was donated.
This is James Shaw Jr.
Over $200,000.
Yeah, he started his own GoFundMe.
He's yet to
However,
to give him any sort of accolade.
However, I looked this up. Trump is going to be inviting James Shaw Jr.
Okay,
to
good.
the White House.
Awesome.
I asked the same exact question. I thought,
Wonderful.
we're having the Southwest pilot, who was the captain in that horrible tragedy, come to the White House. You should have James Shaw Jr.
And he is going.
And he's going.
Fantastic.
We don't know if he's going. The invitation
but
is
that's
being
good.
sent out. Yeah.
Good to hear it.
So you can see that Kanye is sort of what you said is on a tangent a bit. He likes Trump, but then he says my hero is Emma Gonzalez, who is directly in opposition with Trump. So it's confusing to see where he stands. Do you think at all we're just being trolled
Maybe.
by Kanye?
Hey, you read the first one. No, I don't know. I don't know. I think he has breaks from reality.
Yeah.
I really think so. But this is who he is, and this is what his decision is. He's an American again. He's paid taxes, a lot of them, and he has his right to an opinion. So I say go
You
ahead.
don't think we're being trolled by him, though? A lot of people on Twitter are saying he's not really for Trump. He's just literally doing this for his
But he doesn't have
album.
an album coming out or anything, does he? So
Yeah,
I mean,
he just dropped 2 tracks.
Oh yeah, he's got an album in a month.
Oh, were you kidding?
Boom. 2:30 for this. We'll get it.
By the way, could you say 2 tracks? He just dropped 2 tracks.
He just
again?
dropped 2 tracks.
Wow. Who needs Kanye all this controversy when you have Tory promoting you like that? Hey, Al, will you read the
Listen to
second one? It's
Kanye
yours.
West and his tracks on his new album. And
This is
his-
the Kanye and the Westers. They will be dropping tracks.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Home buyers, beware, the seller may be watching you. Yes, you. USA Today reports sellers are using home security cameras to spy on people touring their property. Then they use what they hear as leverage in price negotiations. So it does sound too creepy to be true, right? Think again, 70% of people surveyed said they would spy because of the competitive housing market. So this got you talking. Jeff Schroeder has your comments. Take it away, Jeff.
Thank you, Sam. Talking and thinking.
Hard, very hard.
All right, let's get straight to your comments. Story, kick it off.
All right, Kimberly writes on Facebook, it's ridiculous in this market, but it's not fair to a buyer, especially a first-time home buyer that just wants to have the American dream. I think people are not just discussing negotiations, they're also wondering if their paint and remodeling did well. I think they're trying to hear feedback from people listening to the housing, and I think that's perfectly fair. If it were my house and I was trying to sell it, I would want to know what people were saying.
A little sneaky.
Oh, I don't think so. It's my house.
You're recording people talk. I mean, well, then I'm not coming to a party at your house. I know you're recording everything.
Well, you mean I would? It's not like I would be sneaky about it.
Busted. Al, read the next one.
Party out.
I will come.
No way, not at Tori's house.
Karen says it's a competitive market and people
Yes,
gotta do what
Karen.
they gotta do. I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, this is a business and this is involving a lot of money. I mean, I understand why she's saying that. I don't even know if it's legal to be recording.
I don't know.
in the house.
Different states. So, for instance,
But-
Maryland, you have to have the consent of both people.
Right.
But some states, you can just have it if it's your house.
If you really want to know that, I would think maybe you put up like an anonymous survey at the end, like, hey, what did you like? What didn't you like?
Like a comment card?
It's just good for feedback because we're trying to sell this house and maximize our profit and maximize your enjoyment of it.
All right, well, Mama1335 on YouTube says, I'm a real estate agent, and I assume I'm always being watched. And Mama, I feel you on this, but the thing, I wouldn't have a problem with it if I knew I was being taken.
If it said you might be recorded if you walk in or
Exactly,
something.
You know what I mean? Because you may take a phone call that's personal and you don't want them to overhear that.
That's true.
Other things can happen. We've seen people on buses get recorded and they didn't know that they were getting recorded. So, no, I wouldn't.
But if you are touring a house, assume you are being recorded because they said like 70% of home buyers would do this.
Wow.
So make sure you guys know that you are being recorded. If you're talking negotiations, maybe do it with sign language.
Right, because they could have a nanny cam or anything in there.
Exactly.
All right, calling all music lovers. Erica Cobb has a new trending story coming in hot.
Well, a lot of awesome performers are touring this summer. Rolling Stone magazine has insider info on how you can score cheap seats. First, buy tickets the day they go on sale or the day of the show. Prices are always cheapest at the start of sale or the day of the show because promoters typically overestimate the amount that they will sell. Next, check your credit cards. Companies like MasterCard, American Express, and Chase offer pre-sales, discounted tickets for cardholders, and sometimes even free concerts. Finally, buy tickets at the venue's box office to avoid hefty online service charges. DBL Nation, who do you want to see on tour this summer?
Shuby and I, Kelly Schubert, we're going to see Taylor Swift. gift.
Are you really?
Yes.
I'm going to see Mraz, but check this out. And I use one of the credit cards that you get to early buy.
Yeah.
My son is due September 8th.
Yeah.
Mraz is September 2nd.
Oh.
Nice. Hold it.
Come on, Jordan. Jordan. You can do it.
Coming up on Daily Blast Live, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big day is right around the corner, and we've got the details on Harry's pre-wedding weight loss plan. But first, Al Jackson's hilarious take on trending viral videos. Need a laugh? Al Sounds Off is next.
For you guys.
Okay.
This is from Beth Ulrichsen. She's my favorite Alaskan DBL Nation viewer. She's from Kensai. I'm gonna look that up. Don't worry. Apologize if I got that wrong.
Tell you.
Beth, tell me where you're from. Somewhere in Alaska. She writes this. If someone
That's
tried
weird
to,
that you can communicate through
I
that
know when I'm
black
in
thing over there.
when I do fit. Okay, this is another joke I just fell for. Wow.
What?
I thought you were being serious. I was like, I know. How cool is that? Wow. I know. I'm getting real gullible. If someone tried to kiss me in unwanted pass, it depends on the circumstances. A boss? Yeah, back off. I'm reporting you because it's a power play. An equal coworker? First offense, I would talk it out and make your stance clear. And if it keeps happening, then take it to a level. I don't think I should call up things from 20 years ago. I'm a different person now, and they should be too.
Now we're talking about 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it was a different time in this country's history.
Yeah, and I just you wonder what you say to the person though making that allegation is you did wait a bit. I mean, I would hate to say that.
There's a statute of limitations legally and then in the court of public opinion. I mean, so now what about 60 years ago?
Mhm.
Like, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, and
then
does the culture matter?
Does she want financial repercussions?
Right.
Do you want him to go to jail for trying to kiss you? while you
Yeah.
had a wife? Like,
Do you
what
want to
is-
ruin Brokaw's? And I'm not saying you shouldn't ruin Brokaw's career, but should it be all over because he made a couple passes, which is super schmucky, but is it? It's not Harvey Weinstein. It's not.
Right, yeah.
It's not Bill Cosby.
A lot of people getting caught up in that net.
Yeah, a lot of people getting caught up. A lot of people are writing in, congratulations, Sierra McKenzie, because it's a boy. I got to hold him today. Sierra, she became an aunt. Why did everyone just leave? Did you guys see that?
Leo's clapping.
Thanks, Leo. Do I smell? They just like moths. Like a light bulb went off and I'm alone. Anyway, Sierra, I care. Mazel tov on becoming an aunt. It's a boy. You got to hold him today. That's such a great experience. Also, Barb, if you're watching, we want to wish guys a happy birthday to Barb. We so appreciate it. Thanks, Leo. And Brett. Have I offended everyone at the building? Anywho, happy day to you guys. You're my only real friends now.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's time now for Al Sounds Off, when comedian Al Jackson goes off on the wildest stories he could find.
All right, that's what's up, man. How you feeling? Welcome back.
Feeling good. We're crushing it in the navy blue today, man.
All right, well done, Hannah.
All right, here we go, Al. What do you do if you love hockey, Al, but you don't know how to skate? All right, well, here's what you do, Al. Our friends at 12 News in Phoenix, Arizona have the answer. It's underwater hockey.
What?
People think we're kidding when we tell them. I keep a picture in my wallet of the sport just to be able to show people. No, really, it's a thing. There are about 25 countries around the world that play underwater hockey. We're the only team in the state. We're state champions.
I love underwater hockey.
It's just such a fun sport.
State champs.
Yeah, there's only one team. What do? Play with each other?
State champs.
This has the same rules as hockey. No fighting with your sticks.
State champs. Let's get out of here. All right. Over the years, the magic of Disney has brought us so much, Al. Mickey Mouse, Disney World, and now a soft hand robot. Check this out.
That's right, Jeff. I need a robot with a soft hand. It's like going to after prom with the Terminator. At least we know that thing is lotion proof.
All right.
Excuse me. This is the technology at its best. I really like this. I'm going to use this in the future, this weekend. Let's go to the next one.
All right. The perfect baby doll is cute, cuddly, and is absolutely not creepy. Well, this doll is 2 out of 3. Enjoy. I would throw that thing out of my house.
Jeff, it's weird, but you know what? The baby just doesn't cry. It also tells your kid to come to the dark side. This is good if you're tired of your kid not sleeping in the bed until it's 16. You know, and I'll just tell you this: it's you know, it's a little scary for parents, but if you want to threaten them, be like, "Don't make me get the baby doll again."
There it is.
Be right.
You better behave. You better behave. All right, everybody. That's comedian Al Jackson. That's Al Sounds Off. We are live. Brett Forrest has news at the moment.
Beer is the most popular alcoholic beverage in the U.S. I help contribute to that. So which states drink the most beer? This list is based on the annual gallons of beer a person drinks in each state. Coming in at number 5 is Wisconsin, the least surprising state in the top 5. Number 4 is South Dakota. Number 3, North Dakota. Number 2, Montana. And top spot goes to New Hampshire. They somehow drink 40.6 gallons of beer per person each year. That equals 433 12-ounce beers. And here at DBL, we all live in Colorado, and we rank 22nd, and I am utterly disappointed in us.
New Hampshire, what's happening over there?
No, the Hampshires are getting it in.
Wow, they sure are. It's funny that South Dakota has to do everything with North Dakota. They can't ever be separate.
Yeah, they're like twins. They
Right. It's so weird.
Denver, we crush some
Colorado
beers
is
in Denver.
it's a beer and chicken wings.
It's the IPAs, they're stronger, so you don't drink as many.
Y'all drink
right.
beer? I've never acquired a taste for beer.
I had a show called Hoppy Hour that no one watched that was very good about beer. My mother didn't even watch. Check it out on YouTube.
All right. Do you believe in talking to the dead? LaToya Jackson does, and she says Michael's got a thing or two to say. And next in Heart Threads, we'll meet a former pro football player who hung up his cleats to help wounded veterans heal.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
We are here in the breaks. Welcome. I'm Tori. This is Angelica Lombardi, digital producer, with some hard-hitting, strong news about eyelashes. Talk to me.
Really hard-hitting. This is trending on bustle.com. Apparently the new beauty trend is ombre eyelashes. Tori, how do you feel about this?
I can't. First of all, I'm lazy, and I'm busy, and there's not that much real estate. We've got to get hobbies, people. We have got to get hobbies. Card playing, bowling, lawn bowl, something.
I feel like the only way this would be acceptable is if it was like a costume
Yes.
contest or Halloween, but not.
But like, am I spending this much time and money on this little? No.
Nah.
So I say it's a pass. We want the DBL Nation. Let us know. I'm good with mascara, maybe some glitter. Let's not go crazy. But this is too much, but I might be wrong. All right, we're moving on to the other lady in the house. What's up, Raquel Villanueva? What's going on with you?
Well, if you didn't think Starbucks had enough sugar already, they've just announced 2 Frappuccinos that are permanently on the menu.
Oh, wow. Let's take a look, Chris.
It's going to be Ultra Caramel and the Triple Mocha Frappuccino, respectively, on the right. And this is kind of new because they always have ones that come in like the mermaid frap, the unicorn frappuccino, and they kind of disappear much to the barista's like relief.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work to do.
It's a lot of work to put those
You have
together.
to find a unicorn.
And smash it up.
That's terrible. I didn't say it. Raquel.
Oh. But these ones are mainstays starting today. You can go in and order it. You'll see it directly on the menu.
Again, I just have to say, if you're going and getting excited about different frappuccinos at Starbucks, perhaps we look into hobbies. Perhaps we look into needlepoint, macrame, crochet.
I love cross-stitching.
I'm a big cross-stitching fan too, very meditative, because this is really probably a whole dessert plus 2 if you're gonna do that. So just get a green tea and maybe needlepoint me something nice. Bye.
Today's Heart Threads is all about making the best of life with the cards you've dealt. Formerly deemed Mr. Irrelevant, David turned his life of football into a lifetime of helping others. Grab those tissues and watch this.
This NFL player gave up football to help wounded warriors. David Vobora was the last pick in the 2008 NFL Draft. Players picked last are deemed Mr. Irrelevant because they seldom start their rookie year.
My goal was to change the statistics on Mr. Irrelevant.
He became just the second Mr. Irrelevant to start in 15 years, but a shoulder injury in 2011 took David off the field. While rehabbing to make a comeback, he met veteran Travis Mills, who had lost all 4 limbs in Afghanistan. David was inspired to invite Travis to the gym and train him.
And that was the spark. I knew I had something that I could utilize for his benefit.
That decision would lead David to retire from the NFL to help people with disabilities and wounded veterans in his own gym.
What I'm doing today, I feel, is more significant than anything that I ever achieved in football. But football was the right recipe to create a platform to do this, and Mr. Irrelevant is a part of that story.
We are live. Digital producer Raquel Villanueva with news at the moment.
Right now, Disney is bringing the Magic Kingdom to your kitchen. The company just announced its new digital channel called Disney Eats, featuring Disney-themed food. Upcoming shows include Kitchen Little, which pairs celebrity chefs with kids ready to learn to cook, and Must Be Science, where food and science collide. Some of the videos are already up, and we'll share that link on our social pages.
Thanks, Raquel. Kitchen Little. Kitchen Little.
Now pretty elaborate for, like, we don't have a confection setup. It's just an oven with like 4 pots.
I don't have sprinkles. You know?
Yeah. I think you can get those.
Do you think Disney does a good job of reinventing itself for each generation?
They keep it, they adapt and they keep themselves relevant, very relevant. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
I like me a little Mickey Mouse.
You do?
Well, I did, and now my son loves Mickey Mouse.
Is that his favorite show?
I mean, I can't.
There's something about that show where the kids just love to look at it and just
visually, optically good.
You know that song?
Yeah, it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Come outside, it's fun outside.
There we go. If you're leaving us now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up on DBL.
Michael Jackson is pretty chatty these days. His sister LaToya says she's talked to him. Ever hear of a happiness class? In our DBL Spotlight, we're showing you the free online course anyone can take to be more happy. And can bad sex doom a relationship? You may be surprised. More Daily Blast Live when we come back. All right, guys, you guys are starting on YouTube. The group chat is starting an Instagram following thing. So if you guys go to YouTube for Daily Blast Live, follow back Nicholas Little, Stacy Sorber. Make sure you follow these guys. There's also a Facebook page called DBL Nation where you guys can just chat and be honest and talk with each other. It's like a little club that I'm not a part of, that I'm a little bit jealous, but I'm going to keep talking.
You're
so
not part of many clubs, sorry.
I'm not. There's clubs in this office I'm not part of. There's a Finer Things Club where they go and see Finer Things in Denver, and I was not invited.
There's a cool club. What is Finer Things?
The Finer Things Club, it comes from the office where they go and read good books and go see museums and have tea. I would like to be part of the Finer Things Club.
Yes.
Yes. Well, you're not asked. People are saying, I want you to list your Instagram name on the YouTube chat so people can follow, so you guys can have a community. But Stacy Sorber always wants me to tell you guys, there's an awesome DBL. Hello.
Hi there.
There's an awesome DBL Nation Facebook group on Facebook, and it's for anyone just to chat and talk because you guys are becoming such a great community. So really quick, to my man Marc Summers over here, Samantha Harris just gave you a shout out. She says, hey gang, it's Samantha Harris. A special shout out hello to Marc Summers. He produced a pilot called What Are the Odds? That was one of my first hosting jobs back in 2002.
Was it 2002?
Whoa. Which feels like yesterday. It sounds like yesterday.
She's a big talent.
She is. She's really, I've always loved watching her host.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's a great talent. So she says hi, she's watching. What's up, S. Harris?
That's pretty cool.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that was cool. So you produce as well as direct, you do everything.
Well, I try because, I'm the kind of guy who likes to stay busy 24/7, and if they don't want me to host, then I'll produce. If they don't want me to produce, I'll host. I just want to stay working.
Yeah.
And so I fell into it years ago when we moved Nickelodeon and Double Dare to Orlando.
Oh.
They came to me and said, would you like to produce the show? I didn't even know what it meant, quite honestly.
Welcome back to Daily Blast Live. A big DBL welcome to guest co-host Marc Summers.
How are you, folks? Nice to see you.
There it is.
Thank you.
And you know that face from Double Dare on Nickelodeon and Unwrapped on the Food Network. And Marc's with us all week long, so welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
A lovely man. Yes, you are.
You're not so bad yourself.
There you go.
All right, on that note, let's get right along.
Yeah.
A new fallout today after Michelle Wolf's controversial White House Correspondents' Dinner roast. Right now, news outlets The Hill says it will not participate in any of the future dinners because of Wolf's jokes, but other comedians are coming to Wolf's defense, including Seth Meyers, who delivered the dinner's roast back in 2011. Here's what he said last night.
When you call her filthy, you are right. She is filthy. And she is mean, which is what we love about her. Because those are wonderful qualities for comedians and terrible qualities for free world leaders.
And today, Wolf stands by her speech. She tells NPR, quote, "I wouldn't change a single word. I'm glad I stuck to my guns." Boom.
Boom. Boom, boom. So let's talk about ladies doing comedy versus men doing comedy.
I like that conversation.
It's a different world, I think. I think that they have a harder time. I also think that the people who hired this young woman did not know what they were in store for. And, you know, then you get into a situation of, do you censor? Do you look at her material before and say, no, no, yes, no? And whose decision is that? I just think it's difficult for women to stand up and do what she did.
I think so, too. And I will say, I think three things happen here. She's unknown. I don't think people knew Michelle Wolf.
Right.
I think she's a female, and as a female comic,
I know she's a female.
I think she's a female. You're absolutely right. But as a female comic, you have a scrutiny at you that's different than a male. As somebody at the Comedy Store that you performed at, there's a difference in the audience when I walk on that stage. I've got to earn their trust. There's Michelle Wolf, and her voice, which was very high, and that's how she speaks. I think it turned people off, and I think her jokes were very funny. I think it's a roast. If you don't know what a roast is, don't hire Michelle Wolf. So I think it's embarrassing that people are mad about what insulting things comedians say as opposed to people in power are saying.
Can you name three comedians, three women who you think are funny? Past or present?
I think is something wrong with your chest?
Tori.
Oh, Tori. Can I get three more?
Three more.
I would say Cheryl Underwood. I think that she's very funny. Who were we talking about earlier? Who passed
Joan
away?
Rivers.
Joan Rivers. And Carol Burnett.
Oh, very good. Jeff?
Lisa Lampanelli.
Nice.
Okay. There you go. That's as dirty as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's as dirty as it gets. I would say Joan Rivers is the king of comedy. And, oh, man, I'm stuck.
Who were the women who started comedy? Do you know this? First one was a young woman.
Lucille Ball. How about that one?
Well, Lucille, okay. Moms Mabley, okay? If you don't know who Moms Mabley, black comedian, she was fantastic, okay? Phyllis Diller. People forget about Phyllis Diller. She kind of got the whole thing started as well. There's just not as many women doing comedy as there are men.
There are as many women doing comedy, but we're not getting on lineups. I'm usually the only female, and there's women out there trying to sign up.
Why is that?
Well, because they don't think women will get people in their seats.
Really?
They don't. And I have to work extra hard. I'm just keeping it honest.
I think it's almost, I call it the principal effect, and some of you may agree or not, but it's almost like if it's the same school, but you have a male principal, you look at him one way, and okay, he's authoritative, whatever. And if you have a female principal, oh God, there she is again. She's coming down the hallway. And they could be doing or saying the same thing. Sometimes when people are in an authoritative position, they look at men and women differently.
That's the old thing about if a man, it's authority, and if a woman, she's a bitch.
That's exactly right.
And with the voice too, you know, it seems like it's like she's weaker, but it's not.
She didn't pander to anyone. She showed up. She did her job. Her job was to roast. She did it successfully.
And she roasted both sides.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
You know who's a good woman? Our very own Raquel Villanueva.
Yes,
she has good news at the moment.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, right now, Kanye West is opening up about his nervous breakdown in 2016, and now he's saying one of the things that caused it was Taylor Swift. Listen.
Really, ever since the Taylor Swift moment, it just had never been the same, the connection with radio. It's like, whatever powers that be, it was much harder.
Of course, he famously interrupted Swift during her VMA acceptance speech back in 2009. He says another factor in his breakdown was his addiction to opioids, which happened after he got liposuction, one of the same procedures that contributed to his mother's death while under the knife. It was a breakdown that led to Kanye's hospitalization, and he canceled the rest of his 2016 tour.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, a lot going on there. You know, I think a lot of radio stations probably picked Taylor Swift over Kanye West, and that's what he's sort of implying there, because she is more publicly easier to, you know, she's
more commercial.
Yeah, more commercial.
Definitely more commercial.
Yeah.
Right.
And he has to kind of be upset with himself because he kind of brought that on himself for stealing Taylor Swift's moment at that time.
Yeah, no one else did that but Kanye.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What's the one thing you never want to be? Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Why?
Because she writes songs about every breakup.
Every guy does the same thing.
I know it. It's just insanity, you know. So I just the whole thing. You know, this guy knows how to get publicity. That's what I can say about him. Doing the Taylor Swift interruption, I think, was one of the biggest faux pas anybody could make in their career. He had a nervous breakdown. I'm sorry to hear that.
Right.
What are we supposed to do now? Forgive him for everything he did? I don't know. I mean,
it's tough.
He's fun to watch, I'll say that.
Oh, he's entertaining.
Together,
Listen,
but
the man knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and the opioids. I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope he gets the help that
And
he needs.
Kardashians are helping him, just so you guys know. They are very much ahead.
From T Swift And Kanye to lobsters and politics. If you like lobsters with a side of politics instead of butter, you might be out of luck. This year, Maine's annual Lobster Fest is kicking politics to the curb. No politicians or political parties will be allowed to march in the parade this August for the first time in its 70-year history. I think that's the first time in any history.
Yeah, I think it's at this point in the political climate, it's almost like they're kids. You're yelling at your sister, yelling at your brother. Well, you're both out of here.
Yeah.
Go to your rooms.
No lobster in politics.
No lobster for you. You know, and I think the whole country is sort of feeling like that.
I kind of love this rule. I love seafood. I don't like talking about politics.
You like Maine?
I'm going to this parade.
Well, we talked about the fact that, you know, should politics be at award shows?
Right.
This is a parade. Everybody's supposed to be happy. There's not supposed to be any, you know, divisiveness. And I think this is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too. I'm with you. 150%.
They're saying Congress and all those, you should be grounded.
Yep.
I hear that.
Put them on punishment.
What do you think, just digress 2 seconds, about this parade that Trump wants to have in Washington with all the military?
I think you should spend money in other ways.
Yeah.
Let me say that politely.
Yeah.
On lobster.
On lobster.
All right.
Teachers.
Now it's time for some news from across the pond. It's the Royal Watch with Tori Shulman.
Try a little bit higher there, Jeff. All right. Hear ye, hear ye. A royal decree this morning. Kensington Palace has released the birth certificate for our new Prince, Louis. Here it is. And check out those occupations listed for mom and dad. Prince and Princess of the United Kingdom. Yeah, no duh, guys. And today is May Day, the very 1st of May, and that means it's only 18 days until the royal wedding.
I can hardly wait.
So in order of the big day, England has done the most British thing possible. It's released a new royal coin of the new royal couple. I mean, it does look like Ted Danson is finally marrying Shelley Long. Sam and Diane forever, guys. Cheers forever. But we're also learning that Meghan Markle has been a very positive influence on Prince Harry's diet. He's apparently slimming down for the big day. This is Harry before Meghan, the Burger King, the Duke of Dessert, the Earl of Sandwich, and here he is now. He can buck my ham palace any day.
Wow, Tori.
That was it.
That was good.
Thank you, everyone.
And speaking of Buckingham
Palace?
Yeah, whatever you said. Let's talk about some sex.
Yeah!
Specifically, bad sex. A new survey of 10. You said something dirty right there. I didn't get to it. But 2,000 adults finds that bad sex can actually cause a breakup. What's your take, DBL Nation? Vote now. Have you ever ended a relationship because it wasn't working in bed?
I've ended a relationship because I had we were bad kissers. And I honestly felt that that meant that there was no chemistry. There was no connection.
You could connect the two. You could connect the two.
Yeah, I think if you don't have the same, ideas of money, religion, and sex, not that you have to be on the same religion, but the same idea, it's not going to work out.
Did you tell this person, I don't think we kissed
No,
well?
I said it wasn't you, it was me.
Oh, did you really?
No, yeah.
There's
George
nothing to
Costanza.
Yeah,
There's nothing to give to the
exactly.
theory that it's just all pizza.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's good pizza and bad
I mean,
pizza,
but that's a male
you're gonna eat
thing.
it.
I think a lot of, and you said earlier, males feel that whatever sex is good sex.
Yeah, I never had bad sex.
Right.
I really haven't.
But females,
well, I think that
definitely have.
We look at it a little differently because we're emotionally tied to it. Like for me, I think foreplay begins in the morning when he texts me, "Hey, you look beautiful when you left today." Blah blah blah. All of that to me leads up to it. Now, what you don't want to do is not break up because the sex too good.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about it a lot of ways because sometimes people stay together because of that connection,
reasons.
and it's the wrong reason.
Jeff, how long have you been married?
2 years. I've been with her for 9 years. Yeah.
Okay. You want to have sex at night? Take out the garbage. I'm just telling you.
We did a whole
We
story
did a
on
thing on that.
Really? We did.
Yeah, it's true.
We literally did.
Yeah.
It's a turn on, too.
I'm just telling you.
It's nothing like a man laying up in the bed with the trash piled up high and then you want to come here, baby. You're like, no, take the trash out of the top.
All right, 44% of our viewers, 44% say yes, they have.
Yes.
All right, from a new NASCAR Baby 2, a Hamilton-inspired song, Sam Shocker has more trending stories.
I do, and a big shout out today to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his wife Amy. They just announced this morning that they are new parents to a baby girl, Isla Rose Earnhardt. Congratulations, guys. And Lin-Manuel Miranda has just released his latest Hamil drop, new content inspired by his hit musical Hamilton. This one is called First Burn. Check it out.
and you can expect new music every month through the end of the year. And in case you're not lucky enough to wake up in the happiest place on earth every day, Disney World live streamed the sunrise from the Magic Kingdom this morning. Wow, look at that. Looks like a happily ever after to me. And coming up in the commercial break, we talk about LaToya Jackson channeling Michael from Beyond the Grave. You heard me correctly. And next on Daily Blast Live, a big shout out to NSYNC. Daily Blast Live is taking you to LA for their Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. And later, we're shining the DBL spotlight on a happiness class, the free course you can take to brighten up your outlook.
So Ebony's beau Jonathan just sent her a lot of smiley faces because he takes the trash out
Like
all
twice
the
a
time.
day.
Twice a day.
But we did a story on that, if you remember, when guys do minimum chore work, you're gonna get lucky in the end. So
And I think
take the trash out.
And we don't have kids, but I've even heard married women say, like, just seeing them play with the kids.
Oh, very sexy.
You know what I mean?
If
It's
Brooks
just
picks up like a little kid, I'll be like, my ovaries are like in tears. It's gonna happen soon. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Oh my.
No, but I think doing the minimum, you would get a lot of play.
Yeah.
Is what I say. A very respected.
Yes.
I apologize.
Or fixing things.
Yes.
Or stuff like that. Like, my mom
Yeah.
said every now and then she'll ask my dad to fix something. Oh, Daddy might be watching.
Okay.
Ask him to fix something that she knows he knows how to fix.
Fantastic.
Right.
That'll make him feel good, then that'll make
Thanks,
her
honey.
feel good that he
funny.
did it. You know what I mean?
But also, even if you aren't going to get lucky, you should put the trash in, do your minimum chores.
Absolutely.
Are you a chores guy? Do you take care?
I'm the king of chores. I clean the house.
That's right.
I vacuum.
My husband is the tidy one.
Right.
Yeah, I am
don't
not.
I like a forward-thinking, thoughtful guy, meaning like if you're the last one to drive the car and you know I got to get up in the next morning,
Yeah.
don't have my car on E.
Yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, for Valentine's Day, I came home and he had made a fort and a movie in with roses ready with my favorite coffee and hot chocolate. That's someone that's thinking ahead.
Right.
And he was very happy.
That's
cool.
That,
that he was.
oh, I couldn't even grab it. I was like, where is
What do you
it?
think about Valentine's Day? Is it a commercial holiday or?
Jeff hates Valentine's Day.
I do too.
But Ed doesn't love it.
Most women love it. Why do you hate
I
it?
don't like Valentine's Day because it forces men. First of all, I don't like roses. I like exotic flowers. So men usually send roses, and you gotta, oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah,
and
then
put
they
that stuff in
die.
it.
That
Then they
stupid thing in
die.
there, yeah.
And I think it forces. First of all, I think it's what do you call it? Social. It makes money off of us. They make up holidays. And I would rather a man be nice to me all during the year.
I like the idea. You don't like one day to be like, you will get a cheap glass of champagne.
I don't like candy. I don't like chocolates, and I don't like roses.
How do you feel about Valentine's Day? I love it. No, he hates it. It's his least favorite. He's a yeah. Oh, interesting.
All right, it's time now for Chatting with the Stars. They sold nearly 30 million records in the U.S. and won numerous awards. Yesterday, the band NSYNC was honored with their own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, along with thousands of fans and celebrity speakers. I was in Los Angeles to take part in the festivities. Check it out. The boys of NSYNC are about to come out right now. They're about to receive the 2,636th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The crowd's pumped up, but right now the ceremony's about to begin. How long have you guys been standing out here?
We got in line at 8:30.
8:30 this morning?
Last night. What?
This is one of the most enthusiastic crowds we've ever had.
They were interviewed by yours truly wearing a much too small tiny Santa hat and black fingernails. I got to be a part of history as America met and fell in love with NSYNC for the very first time on U.S. television.
Of course, the band is made up of the cute one, the bad boy, the sensitive one, the sexy one, and Joey.
And we thought actually Ellen was actually in the group because half the time we called Lance Ellen. We thought he was I
had a secret. I was gay. I thought if I had come out, NSYNC would be over. So out of fear, I kept my secret. But so many nights on stage, I'd see young gay fans singing their hearts out, and I wanted so badly to let you know I was you. And so let me say loud and proud to all my LGBT brothers and sisters who embraced me and showed me the way to be who I am. Thank you so much.
I don't really think I can put into words how much the four of you mean to me. You know, I just love all of you so much. I love you! So, don't touch me. Our moms and dads have been really, y'all the real MVP. My beautiful wife who's here today, I love you so much.
They're not really doing interviews, they said personally, but I'm going to see what I could do. Lance, come on, buddy. You got to come talk to Daily Blast Live. Man,
This
how's
is
this
like
stack up?
the button to the NSYNC story. So this means so much to us, especially having everyone here, you guys. It's been an incredible day.
It's been special, man. You're the best, Lance. Congrats. All right, guys, that's it. It's official. NSYNC star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's been a crazy day here. So happy to be here. April 30th is officially NSYNC Day, and thank you guys so much for watching.
You killed it, dude.
Thank you. That was like, Mark was surprised that I was a huge boy band fan.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a special day for me, being friends with Lance for many years, and seeing them get their dreams. It really it touched me in a way. I know people are going to say that sounds weird, but it did.
But it's honest. It's really honest.
Yeah,
you can see how much you love it.
Yeah, and we got the only interview, just so you know, Daily Blast Live. We got that from Lance. No one else gave interviews.
Who's the person you'd want to meet because you've never met?
Oprah, by far.
Really?
Yeah.
And?
I love me some Michelle Obama.
Oh, that's good. How about you? Tori Shulman. I knew it. I knew it.
That was,
Okay, you've met her, so who else?
Yes. No, Tori, that's it.
That's exactly
We don't have time for comments right now. Because we have to get over to our other favorite, Erica Cobb, who has a new story coming in hot.
Thank you, Jeff, and great job. NSYNC, such a big deal. Okay, Paul Rudd is back as Ant-Man, and this time he needs backup to take on a new villain. Here's a first look at the new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Maybe you just need someone watching your back. Hi. Like a partner.
Ant-Man and the Wasp teaming up.
Follow my lead.
She seems more intense.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Buzz is into theaters July 6th.
I missed the buzz.
DBL Buzz.
There you go, DBL Nation. Coming up next, we are shining the DBL spotlight on an online course all about being happy, why it might just be what we all need.
Start your day the DBL way. Go to our website or Facebook page and subscribe to our free morning newsletter, The Breakfast Blast. It's delivered right to your inbox and it gives you the latest headlines. Subscribe now and be in the know before your first cup of joe.
Hey everyone, it's Connor Ashley. So trending right now from USA Today is an interesting Oreos story. So if you missed it, well, Oreos had a mystery flavor and we all guessed it correctly. Fruity Pebbles. Now they went to, everyone to try to come up with 3 new flavors. They picked the best ones out of those. And, one of these flavors might be seen in local stores soon. So we have Cherry Cola Oreos. Kettle corn Oreos, and pina colada Oreo thins. Now this one sounds interesting, like a thin Oreo, because if you're eating Oreos, you're thin, right? Alrighty, well, let me know what you guys think about that. For the entire story, you can go over to USA Today, and you guys can vote there on which one you think should win. The winner will receive $500,000, so let them know what you guys think. Would you rather have Cherry Cola Oreos, Kettle corn Oreos, or pina colada Oreo thins? Let me know. Alrighty, Kelly?
That doesn't sound like a collection that you'd want to have together. Those are all very distinct, separate flavors, so...
Just stick with the double stuffed, people.
Yeah. Guys, write in. What are your favorite Oreo flavors? We want to know. We love talking about Oreos and snacks here. All right, we're moving on to a different story, and you can probably buy those Oreos at 7-Eleven, and our story has to do with a pretty funny idea that 7-Eleven's coming up with. This is straight out of our Techno affiliates at WUSA in Washington, D.C. A local 7-Eleven is actually playing classical music to stop loitering from happening. So they actually found that the music that they were playing depended on how many people just kind of waited outside their store and loitered outside their store, and they didn't want to make an environment that people weren't comfortable to shop at. And so they actually, one random day, started playing classical music and found that people spent less time loitering at the 7-Eleven playing classical music. Now, I personally love classical music, so I'd stay to listen to it here.
Kelly would be out there with her iced coffee, like
Also,
outside of the 7-Eleven.
Can we go back to Oreos? Oreo, we're like the only newsroom in the nation that didn't get a sample of those 3 flavors. 9 News
Wait,
got
seriously?
them. Yeah, all the stations in Denver got them, and we didn't get any to try. We really
tweet
want to try them.
Oreos.
Tweet at Oreo.
Yeah.
Yeah, tweet Oreo
Tweet that.
at
Wants
Oreo.
to try them.
Yeah, tweet us. Bye, guys.
Today, we're shining the DBL spotlight on what makes us happy. The answer may be in Yale professor Lori Santos' class. Her course, Psychology and the Good Life. It has become affectionately known around the campus as the happiness class and is the most popular in Yale's history. But the really happy news? Now you can enroll for free online. Joining us now for our very own DBL Happiness Crash Course is Professor Lori Santos. And happiness is a big concept. So what is a small change we can make immediately to be happier?
Really what the research suggests is that simply by engaging in your own kind of easy practices, some of those practices are just things like savoring, trying to stay in the present moment, trying to reduce your mind wandering. Another easy happiness practice is gratitude. Try to practice appreciating the things that you have, and even doing simple random acts of kindness for other people.
But you say part of the issue is our misconceptions about happiness, and I've heard the term that you get in your own way. How do we get in our own way?
Really, it's our minds that get in our own way. Our minds tell us that to be happy, we need to do certain things, like we need to change something about our lives. But really, what to seek out to be happy is just to do simple things like seek out other people, trying to have time for yourself, a concept that researchers refer to as time affluence.
And what are a few tools that the DBL viewers and myself can use to create their own happiness? Let's talk about in the long term.
The research suggests that very happy people tend to spend a lot of time with others, and that suggests that if we want to be happiest, we should just prioritize the people we care about, spending time with our loved ones.
So when you hear about a happiness course, a lot of students seem to think that this is an easy course to take, but you in fact say it's one of the hardest courses. Why is that?
Yeah, we created this hashtag, hardest class at Yale. And the reason is that becoming happier is hard in the sense that what we really need to do is that we have to fight our bad habits. We need to put into place better practices.
Now, for the first time, people don't have to go to Yale to take your course. They can do it online. So for more information, go to Coursera.org. That's Coursera.org. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
We are live. Digital producer Kelly Schubert with news at this moment. Kelly.
Yeah, just in, the government is looking for 1 million volunteers across the nation who are willing to share their DNA. Sounds weird, right? Let me explain. The government wants to build a large enough database that will allow them to compare genetics, lifestyles, and environments of people from all over, which they hope will help researchers find better ways to prevent and treat illnesses. The National Institute of Health will open enrollment this Sunday. If you're interested in signing up, we'll post the information on our social platforms.
Ooh, slippery slope.
What about the guy they just caught, though, that murderer in California because of the DNA?
And they found out his ancestors and then went all the way down to find him.
The Golden State Killer.
That's amazing.
Crazy, right?
All right, as we go to break, check out some of the exciting things we've got planned coming up in May.
The biggest events in May are on Daily Blast Live.
Surprise!
Complete coverage of the royal wedding.
Royal Watch 2018.
NSYNC's Hollywood Walk of Fame dedication.
I'm so excited.
Al Jackson speaks at the T.M. Landry graduation.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
And so much more.
Yeah, we're just kicking the mud off the tires.
Don't miss a day in May on Daily Blast Live. Speaking about, stop. Speaking about,
40 seconds.
Oreos is what I was trying to get out. Are you a double stuff?
40 seconds.
Normal? We just did a huge story. Kelly, what was the story on Oreos?
That's where you
Well,
went?
there's 3 different flavors that they just came out with, and they've sent them to newsrooms all over the nation, but Daily Blast Live hasn't gotten any to try. Caramel, kettle corn, cherry cola. What's the other one?
And pina colada
Oh yeah,
thin.
pina colada.
The regular stuff. Why would you want this?
I
Hey, guess who won't be trying any of the new flavors? Oreo, because you didn't send us any.
Don't enrage the Oreo.
Why
people.
not? I'm enraged that they didn't send any.
Well, I guess I
Ori.
won't be unwrapping them anymore. Then.
Whoa! Unwrapped Food Network burn! Bravo!
Shame on you, Oreo.
That's a great comment. Did you see how hard it was for me to stand my ass
We're
up?
very forgiving here.
Oreo though, is it like an Oreo blizzard, like an ice cream?
I like when there's something and then there's chunks of the Oreo in there. I also like a mint Oreo. I know this is
like chocolate
I don't
chip.
like mint anything.
Really? Not a mint fan.
Yeah.
Wait, York peppermint patty?
No.
It's his favorite thing in the world.
I thought we were best friends.
Wah, 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 wah. So Brandy Sprung wrote double stuffed Oreos only. Beth Ulrichson says, funny Oreo story. My late husband only liked the stuff, the white stuff. So he would scrape it out and eat it and give the cookies to the kids. They were 7
strong statement
years
about
old.
York
They were 7 before they knew Oreos had stuffings in them because they thought it was just the black cookie, the wafer. That's
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati?
Yes.
I don't
They have a
think
thing
so.
called Andy's.
All right, welcome back to Daily Blast Live. Tori, you have a couple of viewer comments,
I
right?
sure do. A lot of them about you. Cheryl says, great job, Jeff. So happy another one of your dreams came true. And it was a big dream.
It was.
Honestly, it was a big dream. Carrie Hill says, Jeff's positivity is why we all loved him on Big Brother and why I watch him now on DBL. And Brandy brings up a great point. Brandy Sprung. Jeff, do you think you could get Lance to come co-host the show? I know he's busy, but he would be good.
He would be great, and we've talked about it before, and he's always welcome. Lance, you're always welcome to come host the show, buddy. Anytime you want, man. The stories never stop. We don't either. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Keep the conversation going, everybody.
Bye, bye, bye.